Good evening, everybody out there that's watching. We're live, everybody, just so you guys know. Good evening. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. We had a couple that needed to be out, so we decided that we would do a mid-season recap and chat with those that could come. And we've had a lot going on since we started, and we figured, hey, we'll catch up. You can get a little bit of insight from the characters that we play on how we felt with certain things, and I'll be throwing up pictures and stuff as reminders of like items and people that we ran across as well. But yeah, so thank you for joining us, and hopefully you'll learn some stuff that you might have missed. Everything that we have is out on the LakesideLegendz.com website. You can find it on YouTube. When we do stream, we try to keep the episode that we had recently streamed up for usually a couple weeks before we make sure it's out on YouTube and on the website. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Let's see. So we got East Coast Connor, West Coast Connor, GM Icon. Of course, if you notice, our names are all crazy on Zoom. Are you guys even going to talk?
Well, you were in the middle of the intro. You were in the middle of the intro, because I was going to put up the suggestion of...
Just to butt in.
Just to butt in.
Well, I was expecting, like, sound effects to be dropping the whole time as I was doing that, because he's been messing with the sound effects.
I play role-playing games. I'm not good at improvising, so...
Oh.
No, not at all. But I was going to suggest that at a certain point during our recap, or even post the recap when we're all just kind of talking about some of our favorite moments, if one of us is watching the chat in Twitch, if y'all have questions about the story so far, what are our thoughts and feelings from the characters' perspectives about things that are going on, we would love to answer those.
Oh, see, like we have some... Hey! It's glad to have you back. If you have questions, ask us. Yay! I say,
ask away.
Ask away. But yeah. So I guess we can talk about the beginning of our journey. Of course, that knocks two of you out immediately at first.
Yep. Wasn't he?
We're losing East Coast and West Coast Connor here for a little bit because they joined us.
See you in about 10 minutes.
Yeah. I guess I'll kind of do it in my Lexi perspective. So Lexi's on an airship, and she works this airship, and we have new people that come on the crew, and we have Cattell, who's quiet, but she just looks kind of like you don't want to mess with her, because she was brought in to be like the muscle from what I was told. So I was like waiting forever to see her get into a fight, which seemed to take forever when I finally was able to see her fight. But there was her, and then we had this strange gentleman that wore a mask, and that was Cedric. And like I said, an odd fellow there, as some of you guys, when you've watched, that he is... I like you're putting the napkin up.
I don't know where my mask is.
And then we have Lorna, and Lorna has a cute little furry friend named Wynn, who I want to adopt and make mine forever, and so I can love her and squeeze her and hug her and just have my own little Wynn myself. But so they just recently joined the ship, and we have, I guess I'm going to switch to a different scene. Just a second. I got to pull that up.
Scenes.
Yes. Okay.
What?
Well, because I work for Captain Baron. So we have to put Captain Baron up there. So let me do this. Okay. Captain Baron. Isn't he a studly looking man? Woo! Captain Baron. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't see him yet. So
you don't see it? Oh, let's... Well, you can't
delay.
see it
It's
through
delay.
Zoom. Yeah, you have to wait for it to show up on Twitch. I'm sorry, Captain Baron is sexy. So Lexi's got a crush.
Hey, 'cause I designed him.
I know. I was like, he's a good-looking man. But
Now I have to kill him.
now you have to kill. But Captain Barron, I have the time that I've been with him so far, I'm like, I respect him. He runs a great airship. I was honored to be able to be put on board to take on the job as the engineer of the ship all by myself, because I had proven myself on a previous ship. But so we have him leading us, and we have the yay. And so we have this new crew that's come on, and we have been sent on a really.
There it is.
And we've been sent on a mission of sorts at, we're in Petra, to a library. And we are supposed to find something about waygates. I can't remember all the details of the waygates.
A manuscript that supposedly has, can decipher where to locate and use waygates into the elemental planes.
And what are waygates? Explain.
Doorways
Doorways. Okay.
to other worlds.
To other worlds. Okay, so we have to find this manuscript for waygates. So we go to the library, and that is when we got the joke of, what was that joke, Cedric?
A library joke?
What happened that we all keep on saying? It has been repeated multiple times now through episodes of what you said in the library to that student.
Oh, are you talking about don't study history?
Yeah, there's no history.
Nobody
hi-
studies
You gotta
it.
do
No
the
one
voice.
studies
You gotta do the
history.
voice with it.
It's,
Yeah. Oh,
honestly, college students and future college students should probably also listen to Cedric's input here.
don't study history.
Don't study
Well,
history.
those who fail to study history are doomed to repeat it.
We're doing it anyway. We're
Ooh.
doing it anyway.
That's why I don't read about any entrepreneurs or millionaires. So that I'm doomed to repeat them.
But we have to scope out the library. There's a secret room that we have to be able to get into, but we only have access to an outer room to wherever there's a way to get into this secret room, and we only have the room for it was like an hour or something that we were.
There was an orchestra playing out at a gala that was outside of the library.
Yes,
And you had until the concert.
we had until this
ended.
concert ended that we had to be able to get in and get out with
unseen.
unseen, because we were only supposed to be in that room, technical about what's going on, and we had these cool little mechanisms things where it captured us as like projections. So like if anyone came into that room, we looked like we were there, which was really cool. Yeah.
I think it's very, very Lexi to talk about as their like technology pieces when they were magical items, but then Lexi sees them as technology.
It's technology to me.
Technological pieces.
It's on brand. It's on brand. And to be honest, as someone who wasn't there, all I'm hearing is heist and puzzle time.
Yes. And we'll say we did. We made it into the back room. Figured out how to get into that one room, and that room was like a secret like thing that we had to figure out how to get to a hallway to go down to where the stuff was.
The real library.
The real library. And we go down there and I almost die. That's what Lexi took away from it.
Yeah.
I had a little cryptics thing that stabbed me in the hands and injected me with something, and I was dying quickly.
Well, what's funny is at that time we were doing exploding 20s and such too. So if you roll 20, you can re-roll it again and keep adding it. And I think you rolled 2 20s in a row. So she had
I rolled 3.
Yeah, I think it was like
I
like
did
72
a 20,
or
20,
something in
20.
her. Yeah.
So I was able to find the secret
So she was
thing
able
that
to
the
pick a
cryptics was
lock to
in.
get it, and she got it, and then she tried to open that and rolled a 1.
And I rolled a 1.
Oh, that hurts.
Yep.
That hurts so
Yeah.
bad.
So, and I got injected with that, and I was by myself.
Of course
Of
you
course,
were.
you know me.
Of course you were.
I was by myself.
Well, you gotta back up too, because Lorna's not here to showcase her moment there. Because as you come into the library down the hall, there's this
The tree.
kind of a depression in there with all these shelves of books, but in the center of it is this massive tree that
Yeah, I remember the
extends
tree.
up to this beautiful stained glass skylight above.
Oh, there was stained
And-
glass.
Yeah, and it was dark. It was hot.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
didn't see it. But as they approach it, a face formed on the tree and started talking to us, like, "Who are you?" And they're like, "Oh no, we're gonna get busted." And Lorna was able to talk down the tree.
That's
Oh
right.
my God,
she
talked
was.
down Grandmother Willow.
Totally
Yeah,
talked it
she
down.
became friends with the tree and was able to bypass that first. Then that's when they decided to all kind of separate.
I don't think we
and then-
decided. I think it just happened.
Well, Lorna found Isaac Tesh, who's the blind librarian.
I
who was
never
there.
got
She
to
came-
meet Isaac Tesh.
That's true. You were half
I was
poisoned at that
off,
point.
and then I was dying, and then I was zapped away by Val to be saved.
So Lorna goes a little bit deeper into the library while Lexi pans off to go check doors and such, doing what she does. And the rest were all hanging back. I'm not sure where Cedric was at that point. He was there too. I think he went left. Lexi went right.
Yeah.
No, you're with Val still.
I
Because
found
that's
a
where
bunch
this,
of,
yeah.
like scraps of paper and books and stuff. And I stood in
Yeah.
some like poison gas for a while.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. The sad thing is, like, from that whole event, I remember almost dying, and I remember Cedric, like, manhandling the old Isaac blind guy. Like, he literally
on
had
Val's order. Get him.
get him.
That Lorna almost had was kind of like discovering, like, was Isaac going to be a threat,
This all popping up.
or is it going to be, is he an ally?
I'm
What's
gonna
going
move
on
that
with there?
out.
And Cedric, which I jokingly say, like, Cedric went up there and hit him, but he just kind of was holding him. But I was like, he was manhandling him, but kind of grabbed the guy who's blind, remember? So now suddenly somebody's just starting to grab him, and he starts freaking out, and Lexi's kind of like staggering down the passageway, poisoned, almost about to die. And that's when Cattell came into the room and kind of was like, "Everybody, just stop, just stop." And Val was able to whisk Lexi away using teleportation magic to get her to an apothecary to get saved, and so she was gone at that point.
Because we didn't know that Lorna was a healer.
Well, at that, I don't know.
We had no idea that she was a
first
healer.
level. I don't know how much she could have done.
I know,
she
but
could get health.
But we didn't know because we hadn't really, our characters hadn't gotten to know each other and skills, and we had no, I mean, everyone knew I was the engineer, and that was about it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna. That's what I do when I meet people and go do it like a big heist that could get us, thrown in jail. It's like, I don't even know anything about you. I just look at your faces. Let's go. I don't even know what you can do. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Well, we're not the smartest people, apparently.
Nah, it's all right. It was fun. But it was, I believe, by the time it was Cattell, Cedric, and Lorna that kind of made the remaining, that kind of made their way through there and were able to get through the doors and secure the manuscript. Whatever happened to that manuscript?
Didn't we give it to Val?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. He. Well, I mean, our characters don't know this, but he took it, and
No, he put the
cryptics too. He put that up, but he didn't he go, and like he was upset with Templeton Fisk, which I can put that picture up. Where's that? Did he like slam it down, or maybe that was the cryptics that he did that with. I'm not sure about the manuscript thing. Maybe he delivered that too. I can't remember when that all played out, but he did. He like went in and like he went up against like big head honcho Templeton Fisk and like got in his face, which is not smart because Templeton Fisk is like uber powerful in Petra. But yeah, it was. Where is this stuff? You're telling me what to do. I'm like, I have no idea where to find this stuff. But so yeah, that was our.
These old guys while we deal with sound
Yeah,
stuff
so we're
adjusting
getting
mics.
we're getting feedback that everyone can hear me really good, but nobody else, and I got to figure out how I can tweak that. I got a new microphone, everybody. It's awesome. But now we got to figure out sound, which is also why we wanted to be on tonight, see if we can figure out some of this stuff.
That's fair. So bear with us while
Yeah.
we deal with some technical shenanigans.
All right, so
This is all news to me. I thought they had this all prepared and ready to go. I'm just
well, when I did
disappointed.
the first
Are
testing,
you saying you're just the talent, good sir?
If you use that term very loosely, yeah.
Hey now, no negative self-talk.
let's see here. Let me go into my audio.
No, I was just fishing for compliments. That's all.
All right, well, keep talking while I figure out how to get this. See if I can have your guys louder.
So
Because
yeah,
I hear you guys really good in my ears. That's what's weird.
So Val did take the information to Fisk and left it with him, which led to another job. The job that will take forever to get to, because it's still trying to get to.
Oh
it,
my gosh,
which
we
is-
still have not made it to Terravale.
No,
No,
we're still
you've been
on
to
that
Terravale just
same
fine.
job.
Faramir is
Oh.
where you're trying to get
Oh
to.
wait, so we made it to Terravale?
We're in
Yeah.
Terravale.
Yeah.
Well,
No, we're on
not
a
in
train.
Terravale. We left Terravale on the train.
Oh, so we got to
to
Terravale to get the
Miramir.
train to Miramir. That's right, Miramir.
Can we just for once and for all get the definitive pronunciation of that town, please? Steve, this is all you. What is
It is Maramir.
Mara?
Miramir.
Muir.
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 And I'm still gonna
I'm-
butcher it in the future.
I'm getting flashbacks to Thor.
Yeah.
It's Milnir. It's Mew Mew.
Meow, meow, meow.
Oh
That's
gosh.
about Mirror.
Miramir, yeah.
Maramir.
Maramir.
But
Boy, have I ever regretted naming something? But
yes, that was like the
I
worst.
mean, that is the eternal curse of a DM. In any game, every player has butchered a name multiple times.
Well,
It's a
well,
thing.
normally I'm like, if I throw a name out there and I'm like, oh no, I really don't like it, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just change it. Nobody's gonna remember that. I threw it out so long ago. But two things defeat that. One, we stream, so I was like, well, now it's like recorded, so everybody can go watch it. And two, Dove is like a note taker of all note
Oh,
takers,
yeah.
and so it's written down in stone at that point. I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
get around it.
Well,
So-
we've got Dove, we've got East Coast Connor, and John that are like the note takers of all note takers, and I believe also Cattell is a note taker. And yeah,
do
you're not, and
deserve-
I'm playing a character who on purpose is not being a note taker. Like the character would not be a note taker because he's illiterate, and therefore I am not taking notes.
I'm telling you,
Other games I am also a note taker. This is not one of them.
I've had these two notebooks sitting up here for me to eventually write in them for this game. They're empty. I've never even opened them up. They are empty.
Which I
I'm
find
so
hilarious,
bad.
the two talkers of the group that are like the talkers to outside people because we have high charisma scores. We're not the note takers. That's
Oh
gonna
my
make next
God.
week so much more interesting. But we're getting off topic, guys.
Okay,
Let's get
okay.
back to the recap.
So back to the recap. Okay, so we get on the airship to head to Terravale to catch a train to get to Miramir. I'm telling you.
Maramir.
Brandon
Miramir.
Double M.
Ah! We're gonna head to MM and okay, so we
Just wait, Dodger. Give me like 2 weeks, and Dodger will have a new name to this town. That's a nickname. Just give me 2 weeks. It'll be fine.
so we head out and we stop in Mudstream Mines. I can't remember why we stopped in Mudstream Mines.
Okay, the
we were-
reason why you had to stop at Mudstream Mine was because the first time you actually saw Cattell in combat, you were attacked by some critters that the name escapes me
Oh,
now.
that's right. Those little
That were kind of the
kinda
airship
like-
has
like
to navigate
bats.
through
Yeah.
the they're like bats. Had to navigate through the Shattered Lands, which is a series of canyons and such, because they can't go higher because there's like basically kaiju-sized monsters and such up there. So they got to fly low. So they're navigating through the canyons, and there was these bat-like creatures that were nesting along the sides of the canyon that got their attention, perhaps, and they swooped in to mess with the ship. And the crew were taking them out. Cattell, being a melee fighter, was pretty much surrounded by them and just spinning her blade all over the place with blood and guts flying everywhere. So by the time it was all done, she was covered in gore. And then the deck was covered in gore, which is where the mop thing came. And so
Cedric and his mop.
So what ended up happening was that all well, not all of it, but a good portion of the water supply was used up cleaning the ship off. And so like, oh, we got to stop and resupply.
That's
hey,
right.
We'll stop at Mudstream Mine. We'll pick up some more water, and life will be good.
Okay. So we went to
So
Mudstream
that's
Mine
why.
for water. So, yeah. So we get to Mudstream Mines. And I don't remember the name of the guy that we talked to there, because I don't have it in notes. And,
I do.
anyhow, so the person that's kind of in charge of Mudstream Mines, they're having, people dying in their actual mines that they mine some type
I don't know
of...
if I should be really sad about this recap. How like I don't know. People are dying or
People
something.
are dying or
I
something.
don't know.
Okay, you have to realize this was like what, April of last year when this happened.
It's been a while.
And I've slept many nights since then, so...
It was many moons ago.
Yeah, a while ago. But bad things were happening at the mines, and we negotiated...
All right, let me back it up a little bit. So about a month before the ship arrived.
That's what happens when you want me to do this.
Yes, a month before the ship arrived, they opened up this mining town. There were silver miners dabbling in other
Silver,
ores that they
yeah.
should come across it, but silver was their big thing. They had opened up a new mine, and miners mysteriously just never came out. So they got together a little party and sent them in to go, hey, go find what's going on. They never came out. So at that point, but they heard screaming and such, and I believe one person made it out who was like kind of had taken so much physical damage, died shortly after that. And they're like, oh no, there's some creatures, monsters, something's in there, what's going on? Now we're what are we gonna do? So they sent word to Petra for help and had not heard anything back. Then the ship, which is why when the ship arrived, they thought, oh, there's our help. Hey, you've made it. And of course the crew were like, what are you talking about? And so they explained the story to them. And so like, okay, we'll go check this out for a small fee. And went into the mine to find out what's going on.
Purple stuff. I remember purple stuff. The purple stones.
Purple nope stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Cedric
All the
seems
nope.
to like it.
I mean, he only liked it once. I mean, you guys haven't seen him like it.
Well, we don't
He
have
doesn't
it.
like it
We don't
twice.
have any more. That's why. No, so we go into this mine, and there was the skeletons and zombie, because there was ones that were pretty fresh, that were under control of some nether witch is what it ended up being, right? Nether witch?
That is what you believe.
Okay, that is what we believe, that it was a nether witch. Yeah. And and we all lost a lot of our what is it called? Our spiritual composure.
The undead creatures had a corrupting touch.
Yes. And all of us were some of us were corrupted pretty bad. I don't think I went I almost hit the threshold. I don't think Val was touched. I can't remember.
Cedric went rogue.
Yeah.
Yep, Cattell had to knock him down and hold him down.
That's right.
It was super intense.
Yeah, I totally forgot about. See, that's why we have to do these recaps so I can remember this stuff too.
Lorna
yeah.
took it pretty hard too.
She
'cause
did.
She had to take a second to recoup. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember her sitting outside the cave of like,
Mhm.
okay, whoa, that was yeah. But we thought we had it all taken care of, and that like they investigated once we kind of beat everything up, and we noticed that when we were hitting the cave walls that there was purple stuff underneath.
Well, and it took them down, and that's also where you discovered that. So during the trip a bit, it was discovered that Lorna could heal, but
Yeah.
it was also learned in that moment that Lorna can't heal Cedric.
Yeah, that's right, because like when she hurt him with her heel. Yeah, and that's yeah.
Which Steve has informed me is getting slightly changed in the new version.
Is it like
We'll get into the new version update
at the end?
post-recap.
Yeah, we'll get
Yeah.
that kind of at the end. Yeah, yeah. Dev's out there. I could heal his spirit, but not his body.
Oh, what? Oh.
She's putting all kinds of stuff out there in the chat. So that went down, and so then we're like going back to the guy that you gave. I think you said his name. I can't remember anymore again. And whoever the guy was that's in charge there at Mudstream Mines, that we need to do something about like collapsing this because they don't need to dig there anymore because this rock stuff that's being exposed is bad. We thought that we had killed the bad juju nether witch and stuff like that, and everything was good. We had some words that kind of went around about how that was going to go down because like it was like the safety of the people. If we collapse this thing, it could affect other stuff. It was like all kinds of.
You're missing a part.
What am I?
Well, it's in character. This is what Lexi feels
Gosh,
was important
surprised
and
that
what
she
Lexi understood.
Well, the blowing of the mind thing came a little later when it was as you're chilling out, you're like recovering from that fight, and then the giant stitched together skeletal creature mixed with rock and the purple.
I haven't
stones
gotten to that yet.
Well, that's what led to the we better blow this thing.
No, we were talking
Conversation.
about it when we were in there, like going, could we blow? We were like,
that was just your pyromaniac tendencies kicking in.
what?
What?
No, because
Mirror.
I was gonna shut up because I was gonna talk about the gunpowder barrel and stuff. You tell that part.
I didn't say anything about that. I set it up for you. The big, huge creature comes out.
Yes, and it was like all and Cedric like rode his head, and didn't Cattell too? Wasn't Cattell like? Didn't she get up on the back? It was like they were like totally like.
Yeah, they were kind of flipping all over that thing. I know
Yeah.
Cedric was on top of it because it took him. Because I remember him kind of making his
Yeah.
way.
Yes,
See
because
the
he
stuff
had
on
his
it and
juicy
stuff.
legs on. He juicy legged
That's
up.
the
and,
first we saw the juicy legs.
Yes,
in
that
action.
was the first we saw the juicy legs. That was pretty cool. That, and I remember him when we were still inside the mine where he did like kind of like the barrier where they could only come in through like a small section so he could bottlenose them and stuff. That was cool.
Yep.
She's like, dang, flat point. Okay, so back to the thing coming out of the cave. It was like a grotesque, huge, like, yeah, it was like this big, huge, like, thing coming out. It was like literally like ripping out of the side of this mine, and we were trying to keep it from coming completely out. That was like our whole goal. I think that was what we had said. And they were like, maybe we could crush it. And yeah, you're like, I don't know, I wasn't there. So
Just trying to sneak onto the ship. Things were getting real, and I just wanted to get on the ship.
Yeah, he was sleeping on the
that's
ship.
Later.
He was like, I'm hiding on the ship sleeping.
No,
You were
that's
trying to
later.
become
That's
friends
later.
with it, actually. I think that's what it was. It was like you were trying to like find out its life history and form a bond, and
No.
I might be misremembering that.
Oh. Well,
You're misremembering that. Anyway.
Well, anyhow, we ended up. Val used a plot point for a barrel of
No, Val did not use that plot point.
Yeah,
Val
oh,
used the plot
was that
point to save
Lorna?
you. Lorna used the plot point.
For the barrel. But I remember him,
Yep.
he's the one that exploded it. That's why I think it sticks
Yeah.
in my head that he did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so she used a plot point. I still haven't used my plot point.
So,
Not
for those
yet.
who don't know what a plot point is a way to slightly alter the narrative to the benefit of moving the story forward. And so, basically, you can make something true. And so Lorna was sitting on all these barrels, and she made a plot point. One of those barrels was filled with gunpowder. And that's
And-
what happened. So,
and it got teleported up because Val had
Mhm.
the teleporting powers as well.
yes.
And he teleported like into the creature's like mouth or something and
Yep. He
shot
teleported
it.
above the creature with dropped the thing on it and then shot it as he was falling, and then he teleported away
And
again
got
as
away.
it exploded.
and killed the monster. So you think, yay, we did good. That's the end. No, that was like the start of all hell breaking loose. But not yet. Let's see. So we tell them that this is not good. That crap just happened. They need to close down the mine. We're trying to convince them that this is not a good area to stop mining there because of all the nether rock that was found, which is my understanding is like nether rock is like evil, negative energy.
Evil. Strong
Evil's
word.
all about perspective.
Lexi looks at it as like kind of like negative energy, evilish. Not good is how she thinks of it because
Alternative energy.
there.
Yes.
Okay.
Like solar power.
Basically the same.
Even more like nuclear
Totally
power.
exactly the same.
Nuclear power would be a more apt analogy, but you're also talking to you're listening to an entire group who generally feels that alignment is just baloney. So
Oh,
What-
Mine's actually,
what's evil? Who knows?
Yeah, because
mine's
you
actually
ask.
liverwurst.
oh my god. So I just remember us then we're trying to get down the side of this mine. There's okay. When did Val get drunk? That's what I'm trying to remember because
All right, so
At
at some
at the-
point he gets drunk.
At the conclusion of blowing up this thing, the
Yeah.
thing is blown up and such. Now, keep in mind that Val, who is the first mate on the ship, has been disappointed with this particular group from the get-go. Didn't want to help them, didn't want to get involved, because he has just has a dislike for corporate greed and such, and this with mine being a avenue for that, and so just wasn't feeling it. And did a lot of this against his better judgment at this point, was going in and getting involved with this more due to the rest of the crew actions than his own. Once the thing was destroyed, that's when he got frustrated. Cattell and Lorna went back to ship and basically just passed out. And he went to go get drunk. Lexi
Yeah, because I stayed
and
up.
Cedric remained at the
That's
top
what it
by the
was. Because I
cave
was like, we were up on the side by the mine still. Because
with
we
the
were,
captain.
because we were trying to make sure that we were figuring out how to set up things, maybe to collapse it, and we were trying to figure that out. And I think Cedric was also wanting to investigate a little bit more, see if there was anything.
There
Yeah.
was this was after we encountered the
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 thing.
big thing.
Yeah,
Monster.
well, what was the thing that we encountered before that?
that was
Steve.
Just that was the
the
Nether Witch.
The Nether Witch, yeah.
Nether Witch.
Yeah, and you were worried about with the Nether
Void
Witch
Hag.
stuff.
Void Hag, that's what I
Oh
was thinking.
yeah, Void Hag. That's
Void
what it was.
Hag!
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't throw out Nether Witch and messing my brain
I'm
up.
sorry, I couldn't remember.
'Cause
Okay.
He needed to slay it.
Yeah, so he like looked and stuff, but then it's like all of a sudden like we look, and there's a
Hey,
purple
what's that?
yeah a purple cloud in the distance of like the canyon.
I think it was purple, but okay.
It was purple. You said it was like a
It was a
purpley.
dark cloud with purplish lightning, kind of.
It's
flickering
purple
through
then.
it, but it
Okay.
wasn't purple. Seems like it's
Yeah.
like purple looking.
It's a purple cloud.
Oh look, it's My Little Pony.
Let me
As
be in
someone who has
Lexi
been
World.
through certain storms, when the clouds go purple, bad things happen. Okay.
And guess what?
Don't
Bad
sleep on a
things were
purple cloud.
happening.
Yeah,
Because-
cue the bridge of Khazad-dûm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So,
Dun,
Dun dun dun.
purple cloud.
yeah.
And in that purple cloud, that wasn't purple apparently, but purple cloud was a dark black like a black ship starting to sail out of it. A black airship. And it was heading our direction. And then
Sounds like y'all need to go.
and Cedric's all like, run!
Cedric received a hot telegram from his god.
saying,
3 letters.
saying, get out of there. You can't
Time
handle
to get
this.
out of Dodge.
Yeah. So we hot-tail it out of there. I think at one point we heard another gunpowder explosion that Captain Barron did because he grabbed something and went up to do that.
So he stayed back and blew the mine.
That's okay. So I remember we heard like a
While
big boom.
Cedric and Lexi were running. On the ship, Lorna and Cattell woke up to find that Wynn had braided their hair together.
That's right. That's when Wynn did the braiding of the hair because they passed out by each other.
And Wynn, with 6 hands, didn't know what to do, so just started braiding their hair.
Oh, I
Wynn is
love
such
Wynn.
an agent of
Hair.
chaos, and I love it.
I'll say Wynn is awesome.
So when they both got up, when they leaped to their feet, when this noise was going on, like,
That was awesome.
and then they had to decide who was going to cut their hair to get loose because it was all tangled up at that point. And
Lorna made the cut.
Lorna made the
Yeah,
sacrifice.
she sacrificed some of her hair.
Well, it was
And this
her
is the time
win.
when Dodger snuck on the ship.
Yeah, and
Yes.
this is when Dodger sneaks on, but only I know this, but no one else knows yet because I catch
Nope.
it as I get on the ship.
Yep. And Dodger noticed that there are 2 captains running around at this moment.
That's right, because you did tell us that. Although the rest of us find this out a little bit later.
A little bit later.
A wee bit later.
But for the whole lore of the thing.
Yeah.
Some things that Dodger noticed while he was sneaking aboard the ship to be a stowaway.
So that put us later on with some doubt about Captain Barron. So, but so we're getting on the ship, and we need to get out of there super fast. And our first mate, who is the pilot. Of the ship, Val, is drunk.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have our drunk first mate that can't pilot the ship well. And Captain Barron punches him. Didn't he punch him in the face at some point?
So as they're getting on the ship, everybody's kind of getting ready to go. Like, we got to get out of here. We got to do something. That's when Dodger, who is also sneaking on board the ship, like, this little town here is about to go south quick, and was sneaking on, saw the captain way far back from the ship. Yet the crew on the ship saw the captain get on board.
Yeah.
That's where that came up.
See,
However, they get on the
Who's
ship.
real Captain Barron.
The first mate is very drunk and starts running into buildings and such at the mine camp and such, and that's when the captain punched him and took over. And in the meantime, these winged beasts had departed from the dark ship and were doing flybys on the airship that they're on.
They were purple, right?
No.
Gosh. Okay,
They
yes.
weren't?
Yes, they were.
Thank you. I was about to say, I'm like, they were purple too. Like, everything I think about with this ship is, like, not the ship being purple, but everything, like, else was, like, purple.
See? Note taker of the group. Note taker of the group.
Okay.
One of, like, 4. But note taker of the group. He'll have the answer.
Mine's in character, so it's missing bits that Cedric would have missed.
Yeah,
or-
Cedric is colorblind, right? So
Yeah.
he wouldn't have
Yeah, he's
He's in perpetual dark vision all the time, so everything he sees is black and white.
yeah.
He's made a
Oh.
life choice. He's sticking with it.
Oh, Cedric. I love Cedric. He's the
This
best.
recap is great for me because I don't know about any of this
Well,
stuff.
see, and that's
So-
also what I thought
learned
it
a
would
whole
be.
bunch of new stuff.
I will say, I figured it'd be good for you guys too. But unless it's all just kind of refresher because, like I said, this is like started at the very beginning of April of last year, so it's
Mhm.
kind of like ah. And I know we've had some new people start watching, and they're like, you know, but
So what's going on?
yeah, so what's going on? You know, why are these people together? But
So the winged creatures are doing flybys,
And we're getting
and the airship that's pursuing them is shooting cannons at them.
yes, I get blown out the side of the airship.
That's right.
Who
Yeah.
saves you?
That's right. I was hiding in a barrel of apples.
So I get blown.
Because, you know, the cargo's tied down,
Yeah.
so I'm hiding in a barrel of apples, just
He's-
like the Hobbit.
He's living the high life, eating an apple. You know. He's like, ooh, bumpy.
Wait, who saves you then?
No, I fly out, and I was able to, because I grabbed a rope that was kind of out the side too. I was able to pull it to me, so I can get back up.
Scurry!
Yeah, I was able to save myself, thank goodness, because
But they lost an engine.
yeah, we lost the engine. Hence why we're not on an airship anymore. But we beat those things, and
Well, you beat one. No, and the nice thing is how you beat it too, because that's when I was thrown for a loop when Lorna decided she was going to little like wrangle the thing and let the rope and like jumped it and tied it up.
yes, that was awesome.
I was not seeing coming when she grabbed that rope. It's like I'm just going to tie this thing.
It's so
she
Cattell.
hog-tied
I'm like,
it.
that is like Cattell.
No, Lorna did that.
Oh, Lorna, I thought Cattell did that, or she was
No,
holding and
she
Lorna
was-
got it.
Yeah, Cattell was doing
That's
her,
what it
like,
was.
her usual
Yeah.
thing, keeping it distracted. Cedric was on the other side of it, and they're kind of holding their own. And she just
This is when Cattell like never got like hit. Like, wasn't she like just up there and like miss, and like kind of like doing
So,
her
Are you
matrix?
telling me that
thing.
Cattell was Cattelling before we knew Cattelling was a thing?
Oh, she was so Cattelling before you guys knew Cattelling was happening. Yeah, it's Cattell. Cause,
Cattell.
yeah, because that's
telling
why.
like a felon.
Well, because that's the thing. That's when I was starting to doing the Cattell. Every time she dodged, I'd start doing that. Instead of which has now turned into Cattelling. but anyhow. So we don't beat them, but I'm pumping essence.
Escape.
We escape, yeah. I'm pumping essence into the engine to give it magical boosts, so we can try to jet out there as best as we can, and we do break away and get away from the ship of doom.
GTHO, get the heck out of there!
Yeah. And that's when we got to, or we crawled and crashed into Harbor Rock. We made it there. And that's when we finally get these two gentlemen. Yay!
Yay!
So that's how what went down before. Well, there was a little bit more that went down before that, because speaking of Captain Baron, that's when we saw Captain Baron meet the person in the alleyway, Lorna and I, as we climbed up I climbed up on the roof, and Lorna just begrudgingly like, great, what's she getting me into now?
As Lorna is when we are in cities.
It's like, I always do think of Lorna as going, oh crap, great, now I gotta do
I
it's
think
like,
that's exactly what
I
was
gotta
going
go
on.
wrangle cats. Oh dear God.
so we get up,
I think she went to look and like looked at you and say, "Wait, do you think you're already?"
I'm already
halfway
climbing
the
up,
roof?"
because I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, what's going on? And that's where we saw Captain Baron, who later on we found out, like, is it the Captain Baron? We don't know. He had a box, and he met some dark...
Oh, the box.
The box! That I never found out what was in that darn box.
It's gonna haunt your dreams.
It
to the
does.
end of your
It still
days.
bugs me, because, like, you can ask,
It's right there.
ask Icon about that, where I'm kind of like, what was in that box? He's like, I'll never tell. So,
Never tell. That'll be like level 17. We'll finally find out what was in that box.
never found out what was in
Yeah.
that box.
How
But
how did half the world get destroyed? Well, there was this
there's
box.
this box.
Way back at level 2.
So we see him meet this guy, and it was like, something like, of course they don't know, because the guy asked him, is like, do they suspect anything? He's like, of course they don't expect anything, and some other words, which is
What
why
is that box called in there? I was like, sorry, I'm just seeing the chat out there. What was that box called in Hellraiser? What was that thing called? It's not it. That's why we could talk about
I
it.
don't.
What was that thing called?
I don't know. Hellraiser is one of the few
tongue.
horror films I have not seen.
It's at the tip of my tongue.
Man, yeah, what's in that box? What is
If
it?
somebody in the chat does
Yeah.
know, put it in the chat.
Put it in the
'cause
chat,
it's
it's
gonna
gonna drive
point
me
the
nuts.
rest of
the
us.
limit. Yes, the limit configuration. Yes.
Oh,
that's it.
yes! Thank you! The Last Infinite, you're the best. No, because that'd be
It actually
something where...
crossed my mind at one point to do a twist like that. Oh no, I already had a plan for what's going on. So.
Well, my thing is, like, thank God they put that out there, because I'm the type of person at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll wake up and I'll be like, yes! That's
That thing!
it! Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah. So...
As you have a nightmare about Pinhead.
But,
I mean, I do that with Critical Role lore. Of like something I'll forget and then just wake up and go, oh yeah, Keyleth did that. It was the goldfish. Just at 2 in the morning. Who knows?
but yeah, so we saw that conversation go down, and so Lexi is curious. She wants to know things, and that was like, whoa, what's in the box? And then I'm like, what's the captain keeping from us? And it was like, yeah, and I wanted to find out. So I wanted to follow. And
We ran along rooftops.
we ran around rooftops and
Until they ran out of rooftops.
until we ran out of rooftops. And
And then the other stealthy option of middle of street.
in middle of the street, and then like, the turnaround, and it's all like going, oh, I need to tie my shoe. Or, oh, I'm a tree. I don't know. I'm just, it was
Yeah,
bad.
that was pretty much
I'm a
what your stealth
Bethesda
checks were doing at
ficus.
that
I'm half
point.
in the wall, half not.
Yeah, it was bad. I was like,
She just basically did this. I'm hiding.
I'm hiding.
You can't see me.
You can't see me.
I'm invisible.
But then we lost him by that warehouse. Like weren't quite sure which warehouse he went in. But we never got to the box that night. It was sad. So the next day is the day that I'm actually, that's like
Wait. Because Cedric saw you guys run out, right?
Yeah, that's true. You were kind of like following to see what was going.
You were trailing Lorna, who
Okay,
was trailing Lexi.
Didn't Lorna that night beat up some guy that kind of like stepped out and was kind of like, "Hey, baby," type thing?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That happened that night, not the next day.
No, Lorna was trailing me. I saw them jumping out, and then Lorna saw me chasing after them, and then she followed, right?
But Lorna is them.
Oh no, Lorna is.
Cattell wasn't there.
I could tell.
No, Cattell was outside the gates.
Was this the night that Cedric got stuck outside the gates?
Yeah, that's true. We had some
Yes,
people
it
having a
was.
hard time getting back because they didn't have their papers.
Because you didn't have your
we-
papers.
Didn't some violence happen that night, though? Like-
Yes.
That's what I'm saying,
That's what she's talking about. You did get to the warehouse, and you were scoping it out, and Lorna had to teach a guard, or one of the guys guarding the place, a lesson. You knocked somebody out, and then you
Yeah.
and then you left.
Yeah.
You're-
Hopped over the wall, knocked someone out.
Mhm.
Basically, just stared at Lorna.
In a very Cedric way with all wide eyes and big eyebrows. Just
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she ended up taking him out pretty. Like Lorna. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't remember her. Was I there for that? For
You
the
were on the
fight?
other side of the wall.
That's what it was, because I'm like, I wasn't
Yes.
involved in that fight.
No, and it wasn't much of a fight. It was like literally like taking people. Like Lorna was kind of in the open, and so she was kind of talking her way. She was kind of just scoping and playing kind of the innocent. I just kind of wandered in, and then the guy pushed his luck a little too much, and so she had to teach him some manners.
Yeah. But that was that night. And then the next day is a Lexi moment that I'm very proud of. Is
Before you get to your Lexi moment, let me back up to the day prior. She missed some things that didn't involve Lexi, so you wouldn't.
That's
have
what I'm saying. I'm giving the Lexi perspective.
So while they're in the town, taking in Harbor Rock, which is a good sized town and such, with a market square and such, and they're making their way through that. When on the way in, there's this dude who's messing with people and just being obnoxious, whatever. So Wynn decides to steal his belt, his pants drop, and becomes embarrassment of the crowd. Well, a little bit later, that person finds Lorna, Wynn, and starts to pursue them. So Lorna ducks away to get out of trouble. She goes down an alley. She starts hearing this voice in her head, which leads her into this building, which belongs to this Madame Zaka, who is a
Madame Zaka! Yes!
Who is...
See, that's why you have to be here, because I would have not, yeah.
Well, Dove would have had it covered if we got that far, but I'm covering. So Lorna goes into the Madame Zaka's place, who's kind of like set up like a fortune teller shop, and begins to talk to her about things that Lorna's past and kind of what's going on. Just like knew a lot about her and revealed some information, but also gave her this wooden dagger. Wynn wouldn't even go into the place. Wynn was would like just bailed on it. So when Lorna comes out, she's got a dagger and she's got some new information. She kind of gets back with the group and she's trying to figure out what's going on. And they're in the Silver Inn where they're staying, and they're discussing this kind of what's going on and what's happening here. And notice that the musicians that are on the stage that are playing, and they keep playing, and they're playing the same thing over and over again. And when you start to look at it, you notice that they're under duress. And on the stage is Wynn, sitting there just waving her hands along, and realized that she was doing something. And so that created a little friction in the group.
Yeah, Cedric also realized this, and that's when he called her out on being Northern.
Yep. Which made Wynn upset.
That's
for
like
no reason.
That's
It
like
really
a
wasn't upset.
that's like a bad word to win.
So Wynn leaves. That's what got upset Cattell for some reason, and Cattell left.
Lorna,
and
right?
No, Cattell. Lorna stayed. Cattell got upset and left.
Yes.
And then Lorna went to go find Wynn. Lexi went back to the ship, and that's where she was going to go talk to Dodger. And it's Lorna and Lexi met up on the way back, and that's when they saw the captain in the alley and pursued that whole angle. That's why they were out together at night.
So when she was with Madame Zaka, she was given...
Who's just a nice old lady, I agree. She's just a nice old lady.
Did we... You didn't have a picture of Madame Zaka.
No, I did not.
Okay. So, this that I just put up is the top dagger was the dagger that Madame Zaka gave to Lorna, where it looked like wood. But the way Lorna felt it, like in her hand, it didn't feel like wood. It felt like metal type.
It would have
it had the heft of metal.
It had the heft of metal, had weight to it, and it would pulse this green glow that matched her heartbeat.
Yeah. But and then also you see in the picture that you can see that the dagger has changed, but that happens later. So I just put both out there so we had them. I like how his face is all like, what?
What the?
There's a
Where'd I
camera?
go?
Oh my goodness.
I was lost in darkness, and now I'm back.
But so
I was replugging in my headphones, and then everything went dark, and I'm like, why?
did Cattell, because she got her
While
amulet.
Yeah, so Cattell was had left the town and kind of found like some secluded place outside the city walls and our town walls, and kind of was chilling out there, and had an encounter with this elderly woman as well, who gave her an amulet.
And that amulet is that. Which changes later as well. But we'll bring that up later. I don't have a picture of it changed.
That's okay.
Yeah. But she did not have a nice conversation with the old lady, because I don't think the old lady didn't tell her name in that conversation.
No,
So yeah,
she did not.
and Cattell was kind of not wanting really to engage with her. She was kind of upset, like, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't want to, I don't want to be involved in like saving the world type. I don't want to be leader. I don't. Yeah, she was having none of it. But and then she just kind of dropped the amulet on the ground and walked away. And then Cattell, grabbed the amulet after to see what she dropped. So that happened the night before the next day that I got suckered into kickball, right?
Yep.
Okay. Dodger's about to be involved. So I can't remember what I was going out for something specific.
Everybody had like plans for the next.
Yeah,
next
and
day.
I
was at the
couldn't
end.
even tell you what I was going to do. And there were some kids playing kickball, and they asked me if I wanted to play. And Lexi's all like, "Yeah, let's play, of course." And we were playing kickball, and I think the ball got kicked really far, and I went to go get the ball, and I turned, and none of the kids were there, and all these thugs showed up. And I was putting my nose in the place that somewhere wasn't supposed to be the day before, following somebody with a box that I thought didn't. Yeah, but Lexi held her own. I mean,
Hey.
I was doing some serious Cattell.
I was Cattelling. I had channeled the
You had
Cattell.
almost Cattell. You had almost Cattell.
I was
Almost could tell.
Yeah, I was by myself, and there was like six of them or something. There was quite
like
a few.
6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
One of them was like a half giant.
And like
Yeah, you
they
were
were
doing
going up
good.
on the crates, they were on roofs and stuff like that, and I was holding my own for a really long time. But then didn't I?
I'd be a little worried because it was my setup to bring in another player. And I was like, oh, man. This is not going to go well.
Yeah, there was a setup to bring in 2 other players. But I got taken, and then that's where Dodger gets involved.
Now, before we get to where Dodger gets involved, Bellamy, what were you doing at this particular
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Because it fits in the timeline.
It
What
does.
were you doing?
So Bellamy was wandering, as he has done for a long time, and
This is what to do.
He just wants to bell me and chill.
there's actually some information that has not exactly been revealed yet.
Well, don't
So-
reveal anything that you don't
No,
want
I
to reveal.
won't. So he was wandering around, and a group asked him to help with a problem that he kindly refused. And when he went to sleep that night, he woke up gagged and hooded, or at least hooded and tied up somewhere. So he was in and around Harbor Rock. Unbeknownst, he didn't know the party at this point.
No.
but he was asked to help with a task, and he refused, and then woke up tied and hooded.
And who
somewhere.
asked you to
that was
help with the
revealed.
task?
It was on the behalf of Templeton Fisk.
Templeton
some
Fisk.
folks, yeah.
His face is back up there. Ooh, that Templeton Fisk. Oh, okay.
Ooh, that Templeton.
Yeah, that Templeton Fisk. Oh wait, no, never mind. We haven't got to that part yet. Because Templeton Fisk comes back into another thing before we leave Harbor Rock. Okay.
Well, remind us when we get to that point if it's not mentioned.
Yeah, I'll say it before we leave Harbor Rock because it's important.
Cool. Cool.
But yeah, so I was taken, and Cattell and Cedric and Lorna, you guys like went to look for me, and I remember Cedric juicy legged up, and he was like way ahead, and there was all kinds of stuff, and like you knew that I'd been taken
because you'd been there the night before, and that's
right,
everybody went straight there.
But Dodger
at
was
the scene
like
of the crime,
yeah,
of where Lexi went missing. Someone's just chilling over in a dark corner of an alley, and Lorna saw me and pinned me against the wall, and was like, "Who are you? What are you doing here? What do you know?" And I was like, "I'm looking for my friend Gears." Who is Gears? It's just my friend Gears. You know, she was on the ship, and you know, she did all the things on the ship with the spinny things and the telekinesis, telekinetic, whatever thing, and yeah, it's my friend. I'm trying to find my friend.
Yeah.
Why have we not seen you before? I was away in a barrel of apples.
And only I knew.
By the way, you need more apples.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah,
good.
by the way, you need more apples. I ate like half of them. Some of them have kind of turned to apple pie, the ones that were sitting by my head. It's fine.
No.
Some applesauce in the bottom, or us stepping on them.
yeah. I'm making cider. Don't worry about
Oh Lord. That's funny.
So that's how I joined the group, because I was supposed to meet up with my friend Gears that morning, and it's been several hours later, and I haven't seen my friend, so I'm looking for him. With this very wicked-looking sword that's like doesn't have a sheath,
Is
shoved into me belt.
that
That
wicked looking
thing.
sword?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's a really cool, vicious
it's a
looking
cool
sword.
looking sword. And we get into a bit of the backstory of that sword later, but
Yeah.
right now we're on our way to go save our friends. And while we're on our way to go save our friends, how's our audio doing? There, Diva.
What's that?
How's our audio doing? Because I'm getting a lot of messages in the Discord about how our audio is doing.
It's saying that you guys are really quiet. I've got everything maxed out. I don't know why you guys are quiet and I'm not.
Oh, dang it.
I have slid everything, and I have no clue why. Like, unless you guys can figure... Because I've done it in the OBS. I've done it on my computer. I don't know how you can fix stuff in Zoom. I don't even see an option to fix any audio stuff in Zoom.
If you go to the audio settings in there, you might be able to change the...
Well, I see mute, stop
What is
video,
your-
security, participants, chat, share
Now, where you
screen.
go to the mute, the little arrow that's right next to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like that. Let
pops
me...
What
up
is
a
your
little
speaker?
menu.
When it says select the speaker, what is it?
It says
What do you
test speaker and microphone. So click
Wait.
that.
get? No. Where it
Audio
says
settings.
Oh, my...
select the speaker. What do you have for
I have,
that selected?
it's a 6 USB audio device. That's what I have it selected as. I've got that, or I've got these. I think are my real tech. I'm not sure.
And
like, I've got multiple
that's the one
things.
that's hooked up for your desktop audio on OBS, right?
I believe
not.
so. Let me double check. Let's see here. Let me go to.
I mean, we did say this
Yeah, 6
earlier
USB. Yeah.
in the stream, guys, that we were going to be
We
testing
wanted
some
to
audio
see if we
stuff
can
and doing
see if
some
we fix
maintenance.
some of this stuff. I have through OBS my 6 USB audio device. Do you want me?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna test something out, guys. You guys need to let me know really quick. I'm gonna switch some things around really quick. But when I've done this before, then we've got some really funky echoes. Like it does almost like a row your boat, and it keeps on going and going and going.
Row your boat
Row, 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 row,
It's like
row, row,
Dodger's dice. They just
Yes!
it's
And it just
Dodger's
keeps
D20s,
going.
They just keep rolling and rolling. And
Okay,
rolling.
let's see if we can figure
Oh
this out.
god.
I'm gonna switch a couple things around. Let me try.
Should we do this on break or okay.
To that. Okay, now can you hear us again?
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, but that's the one where you guys are quiet and I'm loud. So we're
Oh, interesting. Okay, so whatever you did before, I guess, was good because they said that the split section of hey, should we do this on break, and then it got better.
okay. So
And
But
then
then-
now no sound.
Yeah, now it's the
now
same.
no sound.
Now it's back to tinny.
okay, so let's
Dang
see.
it!
Okay, so
Well, I guess the other thing to keep in mind too is there's a slight delay in what's going on the Twitch stream than what we're seeing in the
True.
Discord. So what we're reading there is what's happening on the Twitch stream, which was actually could be a minute.
30
ago for
seconds
us.
ago.
well, because
yeah.
my thing is, could I have output as something specific and then input as something else instead of keeping it the same? I mean, that's something we have to.
Let's see how you have it configured.
I don't know, but now we're all tinny and I don't know what to do.
Say
We're
leave it at
back.
this point.
Just leave it at this
Yeah.
point. Okay. Sorry, guys. We were trying to test something out.
We can troubleshoot afterwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Again.
I'll
Again.
yeah, I'll
Well,
do-
that's the thing, because when West Coast Connor, Icon, and I were all on, and I tested on my thing, and there was no issues whatsoever. So it's trying to, it's
So
yeah.
it's Eastern time zone that's causing it.
It's totes you
Sorry.
guys.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
all
well.
you guys.
Yep.
Well, we have a week to figure it out, to see if we can do more tweaks on it. We'll test on my thing. So if you see anything pop up under my name, just ignore it. Although I ended up with like 6 or 7 viewers on it for some reason. I was
us
like,
just
why?
BSing and chilling, going over character sheet stuff and seeing how strong my internet in my hotel was.
Yeah. It was quite
It's a
fun.
very
Just
captivating stream.
It was so good.
Alrighty, so where were we? Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
Collected a Dodger and let's go find Alexi.
And
Let's go find the gears.
Lexi comes to where?
I'm got a hood over my head and I'm bound and I hear that there's someone in the room with me. And it's a Bellamy, but I didn't know
It's
his
a
name
Bellamy.
yet. It's a Bellamy.
They're rare.
Yes, very rare.
And you mentioned you were going to have some kind of dog save us or something.
That's
You
true.
mentioned a furry
Yes.
friend.
That's what I said. I have a furry friend that's coming. He's like a dog. What? And guess what? My furry friend came. Because my furry friend is
He did.
the one that got us untied, so we could
Mhm.
help in the fight that was happening. But the fight was happening outside and just not getting to us quick enough. Do you remember that? And
Hey, I was trying, okay? I came smashing through a window surrounded by 30 guys.
in a
and
room
I
that we
went,
weren't in.
Well, had.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the room you were in.
No.
It was just where all these old geezer mercenaries were having a coffee break.
Yeah. And so here Belmy and I are in this room. He doesn't have any weapons because all the stuff has been taken
Nothing.
away from him. Yeah, it was.
And I didn't have time to get Ramil ready that morning either.
Yeah,
So
well, you were
I was totally
bound
on
and
my
all
own.
that stuff. Yeah, you had nothing. Yeah, that was fun. We survived. I got you out. I told you that our friends would come.
I was surprised that we survived. 'cause
Yeah,
that fight was a little
That was
rough
a
in patches. Yeah.
yeah.
That was the first fight that we saw Catel's wormhole in action.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And she did it to pull me out of that room, and I
Yep.
totally thought it was my sword that did the thing.
Yep.
Believed it with my full chest. Was just like, did you do that? You're really cool. No idea.
That's right.
No idea.
And you believed that for so long.
So long.
And she let you.
Oh yeah. It was great. It was a great gag.
But yeah, so then that's how Dodger and Belmy joined the gang of I say like the crew, but you guys have Belmy's never even been on the ship.
No,
I don't ever want to be on the ship either.
I was in a barrel of apples.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then they joined the group and
We still need name.
yeah, because I kept on saying like the crew, you know, Taiki's crew and stuff, but we're not on a ship. I know it's getting fixed and all, but yeah, we need to come up with a clever
Lost
name.
Wanderers. That's my 2 cents right there. We're the Lost Wanderers.
The historians.
That
not
implies that
learning
a lot
history,
of us
they're
are
making
well
it.
read. I resent that.
Oh my goodness. So they get with a group, and we know that we need to get out of Harbor Rock. But on our way out of Harbor Rock, because this is where I got to make sure I say the thing, is I wanted to go in and check out the place of Madame Zaka.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went in there, no Madame Zaka was there. It was a guy that was in there boxing things up. And he was saying that the lady that had owned this place had passed away a while back.
Yeah, like a couple months
Well,
ago.
yeah,
It was
like,
a very
yeah.
Discworld moment
Yeah.
of this shop.
And that he was there because the shop had been purchased. And but he wouldn't let me know who purchased it, even though when I said, I'm like, was it Templeton Fisk? And
I believe you read something.
well, and that's the thing. He said that he
There you
could
are.
not disclose it, but then I noticed there was like kind of like
A
a
bill of
bill of
sale.
sale on it, and Templeton Fisk's name was on it. So
Yep.
yeah, so he has his hands in that too. So that was the darn that Templeton Fisk.
I know. And I believe during the night before we left there, we ended up having dinner. Well, most of us, sans Cedric, had dinner there.
he never
and we
eats.
learned a little bit of Dodger's backstory, that he ran away from Petra,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to get away from Fisk's men, and was very shady on the details, but the mention that y'all's benefactor was Templeton Fisk, and I was like, deuces, I'd rather leave, this is fine, bye. And Catel's like, I was hired to protect everyone a part of the group. You are now part of the group. I'll protect you. It's cool.
Well, and Lorna, Cedric, Cattell, and myself, we all have accords with
Mhm.
Templeton Fisk. And what is an accord, GM?
Yep. Lore dump. What's an accord?
Yep, what's an accord?
So an accord is a contract with arcane power backing it. So the entire Petra is probably the most prominent one with it, being guildhouse driven. But when you make an accord with somebody, there's an arcane tether that binds that agreement, and if either party violates the agreement, then bad things happen. That's dependent upon the degree of how it got broken, who was involved with the accord, etc. But it's culturally taboo, but also has actual negative impact should it be violated.
And my accord, because this actually has been set out there, is I took over my mentor's accord, my mentor Atrix. I took it over so we would stay protected, because I have to stay on the move type thing. And him keeping me on the airship, and I work on the airship, but he also makes sure that if people are looking for a white-haired young gearhead, that he throws them off my track type thing. So
Yeah.
and that he makes sure that no one finds Atrix as well, because Atrix is a turtle. Yeah.
Yep.
That the reason why I had to take over the court is because he got injured on our previous airship, and so that's how I learned all this stuff. So yep. So that was my accord, and Catel's accord was that she was to be like the protector of everyone on the ship. I don't think we've heard Cedric's or Lorna's. I don't think they've ever.
If they have one.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
We don't know if they have one.
I thought they did.
Well, you've been with them
They
longer.
have
The
not
two of us
discussed
are
it.
out of the loop.
Have they discussed whether or not they have one?
I thought
No, it's
they
never really come
had for
up.
some reason. Because I've brought it. Well, if I remember right, I've brought it up to Lorna a couple times, and she always changes the subject onto something else. So it's like I never have gotten my answer. So
Who knows? Maybe it's this is pure speculation. By the way, stream, this is pure speculation.
Well,
but
and my thing
maybe it's an accord with one of the fey creatures in the Wyldwood. We don't know.
No, and I don't know, and I haven't been like going, "What's your accord with Fisk?" It's like I kind of like we talked about it. It's like, but it never goes the way of the conversation I want it to go to find out.
And who knows? Maybe they don't have an accord because Dodger doesn't have an accord.
No, you
He
know.
just knew
But
he
you
needed
just-
to get out of Dodge.
Yeah, you just
pun
need to-
intended.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But my thing is like
Well,
they're on the airship for
crew-
some
the crew of the
reason.
airship all had
Had
an
accords. That's so.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
accord. While you were on the ship,
but you were a
You were crew
stowaway.
one.
I
Yeah.
was stowaway.
Yeah. So like I assume that they have their accords and that's why they're on the ship. So, I mean, it'll come into play because, like I said, if they break the accord, then things happen. So, and right now, our promised thing to Fisk is to get to Maramir.
yay!
Good enough. Good
Yeah.
enough.
Oh, I still butchered it. Maramir.
Maramir.
Muir.
Muir.
Muir. Like manure. Right?
Manure.
Or
Muir.
like Milnir. Maramir.
Yes, it's a Muir.
Double M is where we need to go.
Like I said, give Dodger 2 weeks. We'll
I
get
know.
a new name.
I need a new name, Dodger. Oh my god. I'm like,
I think I've got like 90%
Oh
of the
my
party's nicknames.
because
I
I'm
think I've got it.
butchering it. Well, you're Dodgy now. Dodgy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that happened before we left Harbor Rock, and then we got on our way.
Yep. In carts.
With a wagon.
With a wagon.
With a wagon.
And we had agreed to take goods for a place.
For one of the general
one of
stores
the
that we're
general
going to
stores.
deliver in Terravale, because that was the stop before we
Yep.
got on the train.
And it was supposed to be a 3-day.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be okay.
5 day.
5-day.
5-day journey.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a
Is-
5-day.
We're on day 3, I believe. That's why you're getting a 3, because we're on day 3.
We were on day 3 when
We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, so
There's a lot of things that happen in the middle. We gotta cover that first before we get to the train
what
stuff.
happened in those 3 days?
We're not to
The-
Terravale yet.
Yeah, night.
In the
night-
recap.
The camping of night 3. There's a lot that happened then.
I was thinking
Yeah.
that the wolf kicking Belmy's butt's gonna happen. That happened
Yep,
that
sometime
hasn't
too.
happened yet.
That hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't
Okay.
happened after
No.
Poor
No,
Belmy.
We'll get to that in a sec.
Belmy and the wolf.
Poor
There better
Belmy.
not be any more dogs in this campaign.
You and dogs, man. You're so much more of a scorpion person. I was gonna say a cat person, but that's not right. You're a scorpion
I'm
person.
a scorpion person.
If everyone like me is confused at this point, don't worry. We'll be making some sort of timeline with
What?
like pictures and like things you can click on.
Oh my gosh.
I leave
I
that
guess
to
we
the
just
other
committed
lore
to that.
keepers of the party.
I'll handle it.
They'll say,
I'll
"Don't
handle
have it be me."
Yeah. Yeah. Cedric, you and Lorna just get together, combine your notes, and then just post it.
Yeah.
My notes will still be in Cedric, so it'll be Cedric describing each event. When it's happening.
Oh my
Yep,
goodness.
Sounds about right.
A lot
So
of pontificating about eating the party. I don't get that, but
wait, what?
I'm joking. I'm
There is a
joking.
creature who looks quite delicious.
I will roast them over the small one's flaming hair.
First I must agitate him.
Poke,
I
poke,
will poke
poke.
him with a stick.
Boom, boom, boom.
That was something that we learned on the travels. Is the more irritated that or emotionally heightened that Dodger got, the more brighter and hotter his hair got. It's great.
He's a great torch.
That's also where we learned that Belmy also sidelines as a psychologist.
Yep.
To help talk people down.
Well, Belmy and Chill. He is totally
Belmy and Chill.
zen.
That's where Belmy and Chill came.
I
yeah.
know. He's just so.
Well, the
No,
moniker did
not
not
quite.
become a thing until we were on the train.
No,
but the
I was
vibe is
calling
still
Belmy the
same.
hippie man.
Yeah, that's
The
where
hip-
the
I called him the
first
hippie
seeds
chill
were
man.
planted.
Yeah.
The hippie chill
Yeah,
man.
that's Belmy.
Yeah.
He is chill. To a
Totally
T.
chill.
Yeah. Dodger calls him Mr. Sandman
Yeah.
because he's either gonna
That's
put you
fair.
to sleep or he's just got a lot of sand. Mr.
That's a good
Sandman.
name. And a great
Actually,
name.
that's good. Oh man. So, ooh. So, you guys stopped me. So what happened before for the
So
the
we had
fight?
a couple days. We had a few days of travel, and one night that we were camping, we kind of all sat down and have some conversations. Some of us got up the next morning for either meditation time or training, and all kinds of stuff with that happened. And then we were examining Lorna's dagger and
I thought that
Catel's
happened
amulets,
after.
and then-
Oh, that happened before. Oh, I thought it happened right after.
That
Okay,
happened
that's why.
before.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta bring up my. So here's
Yeah.
Yeah.
the my.
Show off the
back.
things.
Okay, so first I hold the wooden looking dagger, and then
Aye.
I hold on to the amulet in the other hand, and all hell broke loose with Lexi.
Yep.
And
I think Belmy got hit. Cedric wasn't there.
Belmy got hit hard.
Yeah, Belmy got hit
Yeah.
hard. Dodged out of the way on the opposite side of the car and went no. And Cedric wasn't there, and Cattell and Lorna.
Cattell
got
dodged
hit.
it.
No, Cattell dodged
Lorna
it.
took
Because it's
Yeah,
Cattell.
Lorna
I mean,
took
like,
a hit
Cattell's
and-
gonna
and
get
had
hit.
hair all frizz, but was
Yeah.
doing triage to everyone else but herself,
herself.
as
Yeah.
is on brand.
That's right. I
And-
thought that happened after. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was before.
That was
before the
before.
dog.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah,
I
so
have
I put my
Lexi
tattoo
sort
up.
of exploded in my notes. So
Exploded.
Sort of exploded.
Sort of exploded. That yep, sounds about right.
Well, yeah, electricity boom out everywhere, and then I love because I snapped a photo of our reactions when he goes, oh, and Lexi's not breathing, and everyone's all like, like what? because so much stuff was going on, and everyone was talking, and finally he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, and Lexi's not breathing." It's like, what the?
And we all just, what?
Because even I was kind of like, okay, I'm dead. So,
Yeah. So we end up like getting Lexi patched up a bit,
Yeah.
and the girls go off to investigate what was going on Lexi's back. And
I
so we
showed 'em
got
my
a bit of
Did something else happen before they wandered off, or was it when they got back?
it was when they got back.
Okay.
It was when they got back. Coming for the person who doesn't actually write the notes, but I do remember this. It was after they got back and looked at the girls looked at Lexi's back, and so they learned a few things, and so did the audience. Whereas the boys were like, "Well, this has been a crazy day, and it's barely started. Like this is bloody nuts." And so by the time that the girls came back, because I believe one of them mentioned to Lexi that maybe Cedric should have a look at this.
yeah.
And investigate Mr. Bestiary over there. That's your name, by the way, from Dodgers, Mr. Bestiary. So let's have Mr. Bestiary take a look at this. And when you all came back, I don't remember if Cedric did look at Lexi's back first, or if Cedric had touched the two items and then go down.
Yeah, did you see my back? Like, look at my back first before you
Before or
did it, or
after?
after?
Yeah. Well, I have it
Let's check
listed.
the notes again.
Yeah, I have it listed that there were obfuscation runes on the surface level and dark magic below in that session. That sounds like something Cedric
Which
would
was
say.
Lexi's back, I believe.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how that was revealed, if that was just the girls talking, or if that was once Cedric had a look at Lexi's back. I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I have. There was
exactly.
an explosion at camp, and the women have sequestered themselves. It has to do with the dagger of Lorna's and the amulet of Catel's.
I remember Dodge just like holding on to
Sequestered
the amulet going, "We're keeping this away from everything, it's fine." Just arm outstretched, just holding it out the entire time that the girls are sequestered.
I just
Yeah,
love
I
that
have.
the girls have sequestered themselves. And he's-
I said the women.
the
not
women.
girls.
Okay, the women.
The women.
I said Lexi has a strange series of runes on her back, surrounding an implanted stone. I said the amulet is connected to Yodinanar and their spirits of Anemos. Blah blah blah. I am interested in the dagger as it appears to unlock hidden potential. It may interact with the amulet or may not. Blah blah blah. Oh, yep. And then I touched it.
Okay. And then that's when you got knocked out.
Yeah.
And we're
Well, that's when I died.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like you, yeah.
Yep.
And that's when Cattell found a little bit of the dust of the leftover. I'd call it nether rock, whatever it is, and then she like sprinkle or something. Was that time?
No, I think that was a different time. That's where
I think that was a
Dodger
different time.
went down and yeah.
That's
Went
what it
down
was,
there.
because you asked your sword
I did
to
ask my
help.
sword.
That's right.
to
That was
help
the time with your
out
sword. Yeah.
Cedric, and I had asked my sword to help out Cedric, and I got a reply that was not mentioned on screen. That was a whisper, and so I ended up kind of having the sword laid next to Cedric, and I touched his shoulder, and then he woke up. And so Dodger believes that it was entirely because of the sword. Whether that's true or not, Dodger has no idea.
Cedric hasn't talked about it.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. So
There
those.
was a lot of whispers in that episode.
Oh yeah, Dove. Yeah, Dove just put out the thing, the stabbing on the wagon, and that's when she cut like with the dagger on
Yes.
and how something grew out of the cut, like a sprout of
The
a.
wagon started to sprout.
Yeah.
Yep. It was like the dagger just stabbed into it, and then it just druid crafted into the wagon. It was really cool.
So it's like, and that's like my takeaway of the dagger is that it puts it back to the state that it's supposed to be.
And I'm still not convinced of that fact
I-
yet.
I-
That seems to be the
I
narrative.
lean that way, but yeah, I don't know, because my thing is like,
I have a theory.
oh, whatever.
Your theories are all secrets.
I know, but it's because my thing is we don't know. Well, because it didn't happen until I had both for me. Because I had one,
and I believe Cedric also had both.
and he had, so something with both is what.
It's like magnets with the same polarity, just
Yeah. So
kind of a situation. So it's like you gotta examine one or the other, otherwise bad things.
so what
Did you
we
guys touch one of them last though? I mean, you're talking about having both of them, but did you handle
I didn't.
one of them second? You know, like was it one of the items that triggered that bad stuff?
Oh, I believe for Lexi, she grabbed the
I
amulet.
had the amulet first,
and then the dagger,
and then the dagger, because I
okay.
was getting ready to hand off the amulet because I looked at it and I'm like, okay, nothing interesting, and I was handing off when I grabbed the dagger, so I had both at the same time.
I take it back. For Lexi in particular, the more apt analogy is touching one end of an open circuit and then another end of an open circuit, and you complete the circuit. Like that straight up is exactly what happens.
And then boom.
And then boom, with all the electricity.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, we need you on here, Dub, because she said that there was at one point when Cattell was holding the dagger, her eyes changed.
That's
I don't
right.
even have that written down.
Well, you guys weren't. You guys.
Nobody
We'll
was
write
there.
it down. No
Okay,
one was
okay,
there.
okay.
It was just between
Yeah.
the two of them, but it happened where. Yeah. So she. So
Because I
she saw
believe
something.
Cattell was wearing her amulet, but the player. Let me switch voices here. The player has a theory of it didn't affect Cattell in that same way because Cattell was wearing the amulet at the time, if I remember correctly. It's like mechanics wise, it's like Cattell was attuned to the amulet, and then touching and examining the dagger, so it didn't have that like live wire situation that Lexi did. So it didn't affect Cattell nearly as drastically as it affected Lexi. Whereas Lexi, who is unattuned to either item, touching both, and you got the live wire on both ends.
Yeah.
And same for Cedric, unattuned. So that's the player mechanics portion of our brain making theories. So who knows? So back to Dodger, he's got no idea what any of that means.
My last note for that session was Bellamy had a bad time fighting a dog.
Yeah, and we come into this fight. That was the end of that day right there.
Oh my god.
So, how did Bellamy get into the sticky situation with a dog? Let's get into that, shall we?
So we were bringing our caravan around. So are we finished with the dagger and amulet stuff? So we continued along the road.
Several hours later.
And we came across what looked like some kind of bandit hold-up, highwayman situation where there was a family who was at gunpoint or sword point or both, and we intervened. And the party was able to take down all of the bandits, and Bellamy was able to take down a single dog.
Did you eat it?
Bandits and some like
No,
river
ran away.
and poor Bellamy stuck with this dog.
I think the dog ran away. I don't think
Yeah,
he
no,
beat it.
you're
I think
right.
it just ran
No,
away.
the dog ran.
His,
The dog ran
Because
away.
Yeah.
Cedric came up to save you from the dog.
I just
Scared
remember
the dog away.
his first attack was all like, "Woo, Bellamy coming in," and then it was kind of like, "Wah wah wah." After.
Yeah, this was my chance to show off like all of Bellamy's really cool abilities, and he totally whiffed every single time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Poor guy. Poor guy.
But it's okay because nobody saw that.
Nope.
Everyone else was
No,
fighting.
no one was around.
well,
Yeah.
So
Cedric saw that you were in trouble.
yes.
But as you're coming up the mountainside, trying to get up to where Bellamy was at,
Way
all
to
the things
scare off
whiffed,
that
and then the
dog.
dog is gone by the time you got up there, if I remember correctly.
So, was it gone, or would it show up again
Or
later?
was it
We don't
never
know.
there? We don't know!
It's like stalking Bellamy from a distance.
Hey, he's got my scent. Who knows?
The poltergeist dog. You will be haunted to the end of your days by this
Hound
dang
from
dog.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so we did that. We fought some the river dragony
River
little
drakes.
drakes. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
were
river drakes.
that were showed up because of the racket and decided to get involved with the fight, and that's where Dodger had that really awesome like through the wormhole like
Oh,
trick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
up and just sliced its head. It was epic.
It was
and
awesome.
he's never been able to replicate anything like that since. That was his one.
Yep. I'll say that's when I was finally. I brought out the gun that Val had left me.
Yep.
Yep. So I was shooting because I was too far to blast with electricity.
Well, and I think that's true. That's where I think also like if trending here is showing up, it's like Lorna is really like she's like a rodeo person or something, because that's where she also like jumped out, like just grappled the river drake midair and just
Well,
jumped and
it-
tried to tackle it.
and could tell. I mean, that's when she was doing her bamfing, her portals all over, and she was
Yeah.
looking like a freaking.
Yeah, because that's where she
Awesome.
leaped across that, because you guys were
Yeah.
on that cliff and they were down
Yeah,
here.
so
and
she
jumped
just-
was
and threw the
Catelling.
hole
She
and
could
shot
tell,
it.
She's telling,
and yeah.
Dodger just follows right behind,
Yeah.
hoping to hit the portal, and thankfully did. And
Yeah.
And it was his sword the whole time. Yes, sword.
yes,
All the best.
thank you.
Oh my gosh. So,
And I believe, because Lorna was also fighting a Drake at that same time, and
Yep.
ended up doing something really cool, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know by the end of the fight she ended up with a Drake.
me too. I ended up in the water. Well, I
Yeah,
had
you did also end up
I
with
had
it.
to jump
No,
in the water because they spit their stuff on me. So I had
That's
to
right.
go in to get it off me. So yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep. But we won.
Yep.
And then that's when we engaged with the couple who lost their little girl that the slavers took, Aisha, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
That's right,
See
Aisha,
the
'cause-
party's social skills in high form then.
Oh, that was
great.
terrible. That was
So-
like
Oh,
a
it's
train
bad.
wreck. That was
Yeah.
the biggest train wreck I'd ever seen of social skills, of parents that their child had been taken, and oh my gosh,
Yeah, at
It was
the end
it
of the
was
day-
real bad.
it was bad.
Bellamy had to make an accord with the parents to find her daughter in order to calm them down.
Yeah.
You guys had really
that was
messed up
that was
there.
that was
There
bad.
was some misunderstandings and tensions were high.
If if this is Lakeside After Dark, my note says everyone did a pretty shit job at calming down the husband and wife combo.
Oh my
So-
god, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah,
Oof.
it's not great.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was very oofa.
But we left the wagon with them as a trusting
And asked
thing
them kindly to deliver the wagon
to go,
to
and that
Terravale.
we were gonna
No,
go.
they hadn't done that. They were staying.
No, they were
They
staying.
stayed
They
there.
were staying.
They were
there
staying with the wagon
until they got their kid back, which
right.
was resolved later. That's
Right.
right.
Right. Yeah.
And so we tracked down the guys by Lorna and her awesome where she can track things.
Yeah, which is her
and-
just wandering through the woods going.
Lorna doing her skills. And
Yeah.
I know I can't.
Doing her awesome ranger thing.
Her ranger thing.
Her ranger thing.
She was doing her ranger thing and being all
Yeah,
good
especially
at
'cause
it.
It was like had to go off road and
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
And it just
full
started
ATV.
raining and stuff. It was
It was crazy.
but yeah, so it was raining, but we were able to track down the camp, and we attacked the camp, and the girl was not there, we found out, and that's when we found out that they had been taken off to a, like a fort type, a little fort area, but Lexi kind of lost it there in the camp. That's when Lexi went a little dark there for a bit because she wanted to take them all out because Lexi was an ex-slave, so she doesn't smile upon that at all. But
no, and I think that was also the time, or at least during this little mini arc, is when it was revealed to the rest of the party, or at least the two newbies, that was a thing with Lexi.
Yeah, I don't think that was everyone found out that I had been a slave, and that's how I'd gotten my kind of like my thing on my back, and yeah, so I was like, so slaving's not cool at all, especially when it's young kids, because that's how it happened with me. I was like very little, I don't even remember, like, and I just was brought into slavery as a young child. So yeah, so she's not cool with that. But we got them all, and didn't we have one of them, like, I mean, it was like creepy echo. I'm like, I know, I can't fix it now. See, that's what happens when we mess with it. Now I can't fix it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. So we keep one guy alive and he led us there, and then that's
yeah, we did keep one. We kept one guy alive, and we tried to like halfway make an accord with him, but not really, like being super like monkey's paw about how we were making this accord with him, and he didn't really take it. Of showing us where this big fort was, where he was like supposed to deliver anyone that they found slave-wise and deliver them to this fort, and that's how we discovered the fort. And then we let him go? Question mark?
No, we did not let him.
Did we let him
We
go?
let him go
and
for 5 feet.
For 5 feet, yeah, exactly. We let him go for 5, maybe 10 feet. And then
He was not surviving.
Yeah, he didn't survive the day.
No, he did not.
No, he didn't. And he knew it. He knew it. He bloody well knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get to the fort, and yeah, that was yeah.
I think at the fort, Lorna called a headshot or something on a giant.
No.
Was it a foot?
That's later. That's
Okay.
going after Win. That's when we were chasing after Win, and we'll get to that in a minute.
No,
But she did get a headshot, but it is a little bit, because when you get to the fort,
It wasn't the called headshot. The called headshot was later.
Okay.
Yeah. The party decides, like, hey, we're going to sit tight, and we're going to
Oh, that's
infiltrate
true.
this fort at a later time.
right.
In the interim, Wynn was sent in to kind of say, can you find where the child is? Can you get us the lay of the land? Get in there and see what's going on. So Wynn departed to go do that and never came back.
We never came back.
Yeah.
So that's why we're like, we knew that we needed to get in, and we were also looking for the girl. So it was like we needed the win, we needed the girl, and that her called headshot was when we first got in there, and there was all those people. Yeah, when we teleported through the wall from Cattell.
Did it?
Not the
did-
called headshot. The
she
called
exploded her
headshot was
foot
in
or
the
something?
canyon
Was that-
while
That
we
was
were
in the
going
canyon.
after Wayne
The foot
later.
was the canyon. No, it happened in the courtyard where she
Yes, because the half giant had Cattell in a grapple.
She
and
had him in
shot
grapple,
him.
and she shot him in the.
That's right.
Yeah, and she had like the
That's
exploding
right.
But she
20.
did do a call shot later too. Yes, that did happen also.
But-
and that was in the canyon. It just she also got a good shot then too. She
But
shot
the
that.
best part of that is like, so she's second guessing her girl, and then Icon's all like, he's like, just roll a 20 and make it happen, and she's like,
Just roll 20 and make it happen.
and she did it, and then it exploded, and it was like perfect.
Ah,
Yeah, that was great.
so good.
That's like one of my favorite moments. I was just like, what? So, but so that happened because, like I said, Cattell was being held. Finally, she grappled. Yeah, okay, that just totally threw me off because he sent a message, but it says with was slopping John's name because
I
we
know.
messed up. We did all the funny stuff with our names. I'm like, wait, what?
Because we can't just we just can't help ourselves. Although I do have to say, the last time that he went off to be AFK for a second, Ramil was on the floor next to the guitars, and I sent him a direct message going, "I think Ramil wants to play guitar," and then he put Ramil on top of the guitar.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
funny.
So we get that layer of men taken out, and then we go down into the fort. And I remember Cedric went down one side by himself, and we came down the stairs the other way and cleared all the people like into the hallway as we went in, got them all down, and then we got to the room that had whatever it was that was in there.
The Sabestiary, do you remember what exactly it was?
It was not good and the girl was in there. Because I remember that was like we were trying to figure out how to get the girl out. That this thing was like, I don't know, like sucking the life, whatever this thing was doing. Yeah, what was the
I
don't
don't know. It looks like he's looking it
a
up.
Tentamort. Is it Tentamort?
It is a
Yeah.
big tentacled aberration.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Something straight out of Call of Cthulhu.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
straight up.
And I don't know, that was quite the battle. And
I'm very sad I missed it.
yeah, you gotta say that was the night you were
happening in the
out.
hallway,
That's
too.
right. You were out.
Remember that had Dodger and Lexi in the hallway because they were busy with something else.
Yeah, we were like
We
beating
were opening chests and raiding chests.
No.
When you were fighting the tentacle creatures, all the people that you had
You
killed started getting up.
started getting up, and we're like beating him down. Yeah.
Oh no! Yeah. The player, myself, the player was not there that night, and so the DM was DMPCing Dodger at the time,
Yeah.
and so I've gotten like 85% of what actually happened.
Yeah.
And I still need to go back and just watch it.
They were reanimating with the creature like kind of taking control of them. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so we were busy with that. We couldn't even help with what was going on in the room.
No, we
So-
were micromanaging.
But we beat
That's
it.
where Cattell was able to teleport the child
Yeah, she got the
like,
child like out.
upstairs to get it away from it,
Yeah,
and then it started coming out of the hall.
yeah,
and
and
then it was able
that's
to get killed, and then
yeah.
Cedric reached in and ripped out its
his
central core.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
like
gets
covered in
blood,
gore.
and then goes find the child. Just completely like Geralt of Rivia post Kikimora fight, like just covered in
Oh, yeah.
stuff and grossness, trying to talk to this child in a very Cedric like way. Talk to this child. Nuts.
We got real lucky with that child, TBH.
She didn't go running away screaming, so I guess that's a plus.
No, I mean, I'm glad we didn't have to kill that child. It really sucked.
Yeah,
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 that's true,
yeah,
that's
that would have been bad. Yeah,
That would've been bad.
but we rescued her and we sent her off with Dodger to get her back to
Back to the family.
back to the family to send them on their way
Because
to
the rest of the group
Was looking
had
for
to
Wynn.
do what? Had to go
had to
find
go find
Wynn.
Wynn.
Now, don't forget what happened before then.
We
So-
went
down there.
to the crypt.
Yep.
I picked the lock of the crypt to get us in.
That's right.
Yep.
We found a statue of Ewald Garen.
Yes.
I'm
I'm glad you wrote that name down. No
Yeah.
clue.
And he had a sword with him, and all the inscriptions were written in the Aquan language. Yep. May Akari bless him, should he be needed again. Let him be risen and defend the land. And we took his sword. Thanks.
He wasn't using it.
That's not gonna bite us in the behind.
And I will
later.
have to
Oh,
say
wait.
that I understand where Lorna came from on that. Is like, she thinks with the warrior and that he fought the good fight, and that sword should continue to fight in that fight. So I'm like, I totally get why she, was upset with that later. It's like, I totally get it. But yeah, so we take the sword, and then we find out that there's a bigger Tintamort.
Called the Great One,
Yeah.
possibly, and that there were some vague references to the Magic Glen, where the mother is, and assumably that's where we ended up going. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't
there. I was delivering a child and then getting
The notes
lost
are accurate.
with good ginger.
I just,
What's his name?
And so we go, and it was like the Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli chasing after the orcs. We're gonna get it. We're gonna catch up. And we get into that freaking forest.
Yep, off to the
Did you
Wyldwood.
get into the forest, or did the forest get into you?
The forest got it. Oh
we
yeah,
used that.
yeah, exactly. Oh my god! So it was the Fey Forest that, or what? Wait, what's it called? The
Wyldwood.
the Wyldwood. Yeah.
Wyldwood.
Yeah. Yeah. The Wyldwood sucks. Lexi hates it and doesn't ever want to go back.
And there were a couple interesting things that happened in the Wildwood. So,
Yes.
just to set the scene, the sky is different with thousands and thousands of twinkling lights. Ramil is shown to be many times larger inside of the Wildwood. And it's inside of here where Lorna, her face gets more angular, and she sprouts these ethereal wings. And the vines on her tattoos sort of like glow, and that's one of those things that Lorna has like not really, she's denied happening. I mean, we all saw it.
She's in denial.
I think she does that to save Bellamy, or she talks down the trees from.
Yeah, because they weren't they like sucking you
wanted to have
in because
Ramil.
they wanted Ramil.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
They
think
were
my foot
really
got
interested in
caught.
Ramil, and they wanted him.
And someone else wanted Ramil too. No, did he not?
Flix?
Flix.
No.
Didn't he
I don't
want?
think he mentioned.
Did he ever
He
mention
didn't
Ramil?
mention Ramil.
Okay,
No,
I
I don't
couldn't
think he
remember
did.
if he had or not. But because Flix happens here in the future here too.
Yeah. So basically, when Dodger, after he delivered, the child to the family and had asked, since your cart is burnt to a crisp, you can take ours, but the deal is you got to deliver it to the general goods store in Terra Vale for us, and just chill there until we get back, because we gotta, go find Wynn, who was lost while retrieving your child. So that went off like gangbusters. They agreed and they went off, and then Dodger, in typical Dodger fashion of I'm not in the city and therefore I'm gonna get lost, and gets lost in the Wildwood for a minute, and that's when Flix, also known as Ginger from Dodger, finds him,
This
and we have a
gentleman
lovely
here.
conversation as Flix kinda leads me off to the rest of the party. And so I ended up missing this whole thing with the ethereal wings coming from Lorna. Missed the whole bloody thing.
I told you about it.
You told me about it, and I was just, what? This is crazy. Absolutely bonkers.
Now, Flix was quite interesting, because, first, like, he kind of revealed, like, just kind of a little things like, out of place, and, like,
Yeah,
how
so
he
he
was,
called Lorna little sister,
Little
and he
sister.
called Cattell cousin.
yeah.
Yep.
I think that's all I had. He said someone was out of place.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Because we do see Flix again later on, but at that time, I believe that was all we got.
But,
And we know he's part of the Autumn Court.
yeah.
Did we find that out at that time, or was that later?
That's where I have it in that session notes. So.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. See, this is why you wonderful little keepers.
Well, and he doesn't really call it the Autumn Court. What does he call it? He called it something.
I don't remember.
He made reference to the Ashen Lady.
The Ashen Lady.
Yeah,
that's
the
what it is.
Ashen
Ashen
Lady.
Lady. That I was trying to remember
But I
that he
thought that
said.
was later on. I could be wrong though. If he revealed that.
He was forbidden by the Ashen Lady to, I think, go to where Wynn was. Or he was forbidden by the Ashen Lady to go somewhere. I don't know where. But
Yeah,
he does mention her.
because he could take us to where
To the edge of the
to the edge of the Wildwood,
That's
in the
right.
direction that would get us to right where kind of like where we needed to be to find Wynn in this.
And poor Dodger has given Lorna an aneurysm because here he has been talking with this fey creature for hours.
And she was like, "What did you
"But
promise
did you make
him?
any deals?
Did you make any
What
deals?"
did you do? What did you say?" And he's like, "We just had a chat. We just had a chat. It's fine."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, you don't understand. Like, gave her a bloody aneurysm." And Lorna, I'm so sorry.
I think this is good enough to share. He called Cattell a backwoods cousin.
Her backwoods cousin. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I think mine was just like white hair or something. Whatever he said about me, I was like, "Oh, the white hair."
I'm like, "Yeah, it's Gears.
Yeah.
It's Gears. I've told you all about Gears."
But no, he was interesting, and he got us to where we needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish we didn't have to go there, but we had to save our furry friend. And we were going to get Wynn. But, yeah, so we, I remember it was kind of like with the canyons, and we had to, like,
canyons and cliffs and stuff.
And all I know is, like, our movement was, like, only, like, a third of what we could do because the terrain was so bad. It was
half.
Whatever it was bad.
Still,
It sucked.
It was the terrain was a real Debbie Downer.
Yes, it
The
was.
little I just wanted a little wrinkle in there. It's like something.
You like to throw a lot of wrinkles at us. So.
And it was
Or
during
throw
this
one
fight-
wrinkle. I'm sorry, is this 5 over here? One wrinkle, totally.
When we first entered the canyon, there was a point where Dodger went a little bit crazy, and
That's
there were
right,
a
Dodger
couple blood
totally
vessels
did.
and dies, and he just started running like
Oh
hell
no,
no.
that's later. Because I remember Dodger had scouted, and this was the moment that Dodger learned that it was not the sword that was doing the portal thing.
That's-
It was
oh, yeah, that's
Cattell.
right.
That's
And he
right.
climbed
That's
up
right.
to the top
That's right.
to try to like scout out and see like we're in the middle of the canyon, and so Dodger climbs up to the top, tries to see what he can see, doesn't really see much, and just kind of, and I rolled for it of whether or not Dodger was going to climb down and go, "You're gonna catch me, right?" And jumps, and then Cattell throws a portal, and then throws another portal, and so it's very much like the game portal, and just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
just bounced back and forth until he learned his lesson, and then she just vanished and pow!
Yeah. Yeah.
Ow!
So, yeah, so I remember the train being terrible. That was the one where we got the cool shot where she got the called shot foot, Lorna with the arrow, and the guy couldn't get his foot up. And that was awesome. And that was the one where Cattell was beating Dodger every single time to whoever he wanted to attack. She was getting there first, and they would fall
Real bad.
right as he got there. And that happened so many times that night. So,
So little bit of what was going on. Just I've got no problems with revealing this stuff of what was going on in the background. So Dodger's getting frustrated of every time he's running up and just and it's dead.
yeah.
Because something that we had pre-established earlier on is every time that Dodger has like done damage to somebody or has killed somebody, is he does not end up a bloody mess like Mr. Bestiary over here. He does not become a bloody mess.
Yeah.
He ends up striking them and all the blood gets sucked into the sword. So he stays clean as a whistle on that front, like dirt and everything else is fine, but blood-wise,
But we
clean as
didn't
whistle.
know that yet.
it wasn't really sinking in at that time.
Yeah,
that
we
that's
had
what
no clue
happened.
that
And
your
so-
sword was like a bloodsucker.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a whisper of your sword is very mad at you, and so the way that I roleplayed that during that moment was, he's gripping his sword and all the muscles and veins start bulging up his sword and his eyes just kind of start going reds, and he just starts booking it so that he can feed the sword.
Yeah, I gotta get your sword picture up. There's your
Yeah,
sword.
Straight up rage without the class ability.
Exactly. Like
I'd like to rage.
He was not really in control because all he knew was he needed to feed the sword.
Yeah.
So he just books it and just gets massively wounded.
So
He's going up this level of an incline.
incline. I'm like, we can't
with
move
rifle
well.
head shooting down at it.
Oh God, that's right. We were like getting
He's not
sniped and
smart.
stuff. Yeah, that was rough.
It was a real
That was
rough
like
fight.
a 2-night battle thing of us
It was.
trying to get through this to get to win. Yeah. And the hashtag
Yeah.
save win. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think it was like 2 to 3 nights.
Oh my God, I thought we
Yeah,
would
it
never
was-
get
it
to
was-
win.
I think me and John were awake until like 2:30.
Oh my God, when we did that final battle thing for that. Yeah, it was late because we wanted to get it done. Let's just finish this battle against this
great.
baddie.
That's great.
But that was the mama Tintamort that we.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so
well,
by the time we get to the Mama Tentamore, like, Dodger is, like, severely wounded at this point.
weren't you like holding in your
everyone
guts
else
at
is
this
like-
point or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, you should like gut
everyone's,
it.
like, real low on hit points for the equivalent of that at that time.
Yep.
And so we're trying to get to this point, and by night 3, we finally come up to this ritual kind of situation where Wynn is chained on a pedestal, and
Yeah.
Wynn's looking real rough.
Bad.
It's
yeah.
not good. And so we're going through this fight, and Dodger, I think, got a hold of a gun from Lexi.
Yeah, I had a.
Of
Yep.
like a pistol, so that he had something at range, because he didn't before. And like Catel's Cateling and doing her thing.
Well, because
and
she could get in
Cattell-
and do her surprise stuff by bamfing in
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
And we're trying to get up that freaking hill.
An interesting thing on that fight too is because Lorna was scouting ahead while
That's right.
everybody was kind of recovering, and Catel's kind of trailing her. And Lorna got there, so she got the lay of that situation, came back and told the group. I thought she was going to go in, and I'm like, how is this going to play out? I hope she
Well, because
does
there
not
was
try and
quite a
get
few
in there.
people
Yeah.
that were.
Because she was scouting ahead while the rest of us could take a short rest.
That's right, because we were hurt really bad.
We were real hurt.
We were-
Yeah,
We
so
were
she
in
did
a
come
real
back, yeah,
bad
she went
place.
back
And we
got the
had
group,
no
and then we went
rest,
in.
and it was just, yeah, it was like go. It was very.
It was nuts, y'all. So by the end of that fight, we ended up with Cattell and Cedric doing some really awesome, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Of trying to get to Lorna, get to Wynn, and get right up on that pedestal. And so the thing that happened just before they were able to break Wynn's chains to get Wynn off the pedestal, that's when Lorna takes that freaking wooden dagger and stabs it into the ground and
Oh man.
pulls some either major illusion, plane shift shenanigans.
And we still don't know what
We
exactly.
don't know.
We have no idea. This is just pure speculation and theory, alright?
We
I
weren't in
didn't remember
Kansas
this.
anymore.
No, we're not. And we're not even in Oz. It wasn't even whimsical.
No.
In my notes,
Okay.
it says the trees turned to bones. In my notes,
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
Straight
That's
up
pretty
body
freaky.
horror
The ground was
craziness.
the ground was bloody flesh. And,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
was
straight
really
up body
freaky.
horror stuff.
And
Yep.
then Mama, Daddy, whatever Tintamort was huge and like it wasn't like almost like coming down
'Cause
where
earlier
we
in the
were.
fight, it's like crawling through a portal, so
Yeah.
we're getting aspects of it. But once that dagger went into the ground, we saw what was really going
there?
on, and
It was not good.
That was one of the most stressful fights I think we've had so far on the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. That one just like blew my mind.
It
was
was-
like when
it
we
was
got done, it was
nuts.
like, thank God we didn't have to fight it. Because Lorna was smart enough to be like, oh, that's not good, and pull the dagger back out. And then it was like, poof.
And
And we were-
according to Lorna, who messaged in our Discord chat, they turned to bones. Gosh, I just blanked out. Blah! Just no. Lorna's focus was 100% on win, and trying to figure out what was the best way to help. Did that thing. All of this craziness happened, and so we're all like, "How do we get home?
That's like how,
What is this?"
yeah.
And eventually, I think around maybe two passes before Lorna pulls the dagger back out of the ground and everything turned back to normal.
And that's
Like,
why I
it was-
think that dagger, it like puts it like something with that dagger when
And then
it.
she did the effect on the stoner. She was trying to use the
entangle
the vines and stuff
But
to kind of
to
see if she could like
break
push it
the
out.
stone.
Cattell jumped up and kind of was wedging. She was trying to break the chains with her.
And then Cedric
with her
with
lance,
that
and-
dang sword, yo!
Yeah, that's my second use of plot point. Was
Oh, yeah.
finding this sword that Cedric ran, jumped up in the air, and
It was one round. Confirmed it was one round.
One round. We were
Yeah, it
only
wasn't
there for
very
one
long,
round, but it was enough to freak us like out bad.
Well, now that we're on the other side of this, I can say that yeah, I thought it was one round too because I don't think there would have been the same party members
Well, no, we would have gone
in
insane.
on this game.
That was like Call of Cthulhu. That would have been like
Yeah.
instant insanity. I think if we would have like
Yeah.
yeah.
Because we had to roll saves basically
Mhm.
while in
Oh,
that
I
scenario,
forgot about
and all of us were already like real bad vitality wise, but spiritually or mentally, I can't remember which of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were rolling saves on that and went, oh, this is real bad because now we're taking this other kind of damage where we gotta die.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. But we made it, and we saved
We
Win,
did,
and that was
and we saved Win.
yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe how much stuff has happened. That's where this talking about like going.
It's been nuts,
God, we've had a
y'all.
lot go on. I'm like,
yeah.
jeez, like we haven't even gotten to like Terraville on the train and all that.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that gets closer to current.
Yeah, I was like, we're
Yeah.
getting close-ish.
We're getting close.
But yeah,
So we all kind of lick our wounds and exhaustedly make our way out of that canyon to the edge of the Wyldwood, and either go through the Wyldwood a little bit again, or we just bypass it entirely.
Well, remember when you came? So when you got to the trail that went up into the cliffs, you had stepped right outside of the Wyldwood. It was like right there, and you went in. When you came back down, it was plains.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
gone.
that's
it was
right.
gone entirely
It was
because
gone.
the Wyldwood doesn't stay in one place apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wonderful Wildwoods. Yes.
Which pushed Lorna to her abilities because she had to the landmarks were all everything that she needs to
Oh,
shift,
yeah,
kind of orient
yeah.
and figure out like where do we
That's
need to
right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so we ended up finding this alcove for all of us to like sleep for a bit. And Lorna had made us some like really basic
Fruit
tea
Yeah.
from
Fruit
which you
tea.
could forage. Because all of our supplies were on the cart, which is now on its way to Terraville
Yeah.
without us.
Yep.
And Win had already devoured all of the food that was in Dodger's bag that he had
Yeah.
scrounged.
But yeah, so we had to.
we didn't have any food left.
But we had to rest, recoup, poor Win. Like, I think didn't Win just curl up into sleep for like forever? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
for,
poor
like,
Win.
days.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3
Yeah,
days.
Win was not in a
Yes.
good place at that time.
But let's see. So we find our way back to the fort.
What was going on at the fort?
The
And there are
fort,
ghosts.
There were
and
ghosts.
There are ghosts swarming
Swarming.
around.
the fort that we had
Yeah.
left. Yay us!
Why was that, y'all? Why were the ghosts swarming?
We took the sword.
Because we took the sword. I didn't take
Apparently
it. I
spirits
just
of
let
dead
them in.
heroes don't like
let
that.
them in. But that was another.
This is why Indiana Jones is a villain.
But
How
that's
did you get out of that situation?
Cedric being his diplomatic self. he had his. He was talking with them and found out, the guy wanted his sword back because it was the ghost of Edwin that and the sword was supposed to be with him. So I think it's like so he could be called upon to rise again, and that was like the sword was bound to him, and so we gave the sword back, and and that they went back at peace, and I secured everything and locked everything back up, and we went on our way.
Well, no. Meanwhile,
not
while y'all were doing all of that stuff, Cattell, Lorna, and Dodger were not with the group at that time. Because Lorna went off into the woods because she needed to clear her head, cool off from all the craziness that was going on at the fort. Cattell went off on her own or maybe she stayed with the group and then went looking for the rest of us, and then, that's right, she stayed with the group. Dodger went off to go find Lorna and immediately got lost.
Yeah.
Instantly. He's not in a city. It's what happens. If I'm not in a city, I'm instantly going to be lost. And ended up talking to Ginger, i.e. Flix,
again
for a minute. And Flix had basically told Dodger that, the Ashen One would really like to see you and speak with you, and do all these things. She's really interested in what you're about. And Dodger's like, ask me again tomorrow, because I don't know how about the rest of the party will feel about that, and so I'm not going to commit to anything, therefore not get into a deal. Because Lorna got real mad at me last time we chatted, and I'll remember that. I may be stupid, but I'm not that stupid. And so he ends up going back to the rest of the group at that point. And so on his way back, and Lorna, at that time, unbeknownst to the rest of us, went off hunting, and is taking care of a...
She's getting meat.
She's getting meat, taking care of a deer at that time, and while Dodger and Lorna are on our way back, Cattell goes looking for the two of us and comes across the tracks of Flix, and is like, I remember stories of the Fae and the Wyldwood, and I'm curious. Fairy tracks, I'm gonna go follow them.
I'm gonna go Cattell.
I'm gonna go Cattell and go follow them. And gets lost in the Wyldwood and having her own existential journey
The
out
place
there.
I never wanted to go back to.
And so by the time we all reconvene, sans Cattell, Lorna's got this deer, and so we're starting to take care of this deer in the fort, and we're like, where's Cattell? And so we go looking for Cattell, because we got someone missing, and what was going on with Cattell, Icon?
So Cattell had ventured into the Wyldwood, and in exploring her amulet and such, suddenly saw herself changing forms till she had taken on the shape of a fox.
Little fox.
And it's such a cute fox.
It's
It
so
is a cute
cute.
little fox.
It's like...
I don't have
It's
the
got,
picture of that.
It's got like a more blackish fur with some like amber highlights in it. It's such a cute fox. I don't think I have it somewhere.
I didn't save
I
it.
might-
Yeah, I don't
I
have
might
it.
have it somewhere on this computer, so that'll later I'll be able to upload that to the rest of y'all to put into the timeline notes, so that we've got pictures and whatnot.
But yeah, so she turned into a fox, and she was playing around in the Wyldwoods,
Yeah,
and
very content.
just happy as can be. And then what do? We gotta go find her. Because she doesn't come back.
Yes. On the way of finding her, that's when you also started encountering music playing, and there was a fairy
That's
troop nearby.
Right.
And then I was like, with Lorna's knowledge, was like, oh, yeah.
Because wasn't
let's
it like
not mess with
sad,
that.
sad, like like very somber
very
music,
somber.
and
Kind
it was
of
like
stuff.
almost draining. That you're just like, oh yeah.
I thought that was Cedric's knowledge, or maybe it was both.
I think it was both.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was a bit of both.
On the Winter Court to figure out that they were. Okay. No, that's changelings.
So to give them a description, these were gangly folks in rags, some carrying parasols and canes, moving at strange angles, carrying gothic lanterns, and playing wild instruments. It was like a really crazy
It was a very
scene.
dance macabre
Yes.
feel to it. That's the perfect way to describe it. And if you don't know what dance macabre is, look it up. 10 out of 10 recommend, and you might find them at your local Renaissance fair. I used to be a part of a dance macabre guild. That's why I'm like, that was the instant feel that I got from it. Was very like funeral dirge, but not really
Yeah.
dance macabre feel to it.
It was just.
Good. That's what I was going for.
Awesome! Awesome! We got it, guys!
Woohoo! But and then we had to hide.
Mhm.
And I was able to distract a couple that were
Well,
coming.
you all hit
'cause-
actually pretty good.
but someone fell out of the
music they were
tree.
playing were putting
I
to
fell
sleep,
out
and
of the
Dodger
tree.
fell out
That's
of
what
the
I was
tree.
saying. So you fell
I
a
fell out of the
tree,
tree.
and so I was
I
like,
failed that wisdom save.
I was able to to throw.
You pulled a Last of Us, basically throwing the beer bottle or the brick
Yeah, I just
away
kinda did
from
my-
the group to distract.
And
Well,
they
that's
did.
when Wynn kind of was starting to stir too. She had an illusion up.
She had the illusion.
Yeah.
That's right.
To
and she
hide
threw
all
the
of
rock.
us.
Yeah.
And I threw the rock to get them to not be looking at us, and it worked. So we were able
It did.
to. And they
And-
went by, and then we had
That one had me a little worried too. Actually.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah. It was things were starting to go real sideways for us, but then Cattell shows up in her fox form
Yep.
and kind of like very hesitantly kind of reveals herself to the rest of the group, and we tried to handle it as best we could.
It's us. We suck
It
at
took some
handling things.
coaxing. Yeah.
There was some coaxing, and Cedric really kind of made the situation a lot better than it could have been, because Cattell really trusted Cedric in that moment and brought her back to the fort, and we all returned back to the fort, and we put Cattell up in the captain's quarters there for Cattell to work her way to transforming back in her own privacy, with Cedric there. I believe he had your back turn.
He was kinda like
Tell
dark.
us about it.
Well,
Tell us about it, Cedric.
Cedric carried Fox Cattell back to the fort. And then there was some communication that Fox Cattell wanted her clothing back, and so Cedric left her to change back and put on her clothing. And I believe he just left the room. He didn't
Yeah, Wynn was there too.
Yeah, Wynn
Wynn was
Because
there.
Wynn
That's who
yeah.
was there.
Wynn stayed in the room. He kind of guarded the door.
Yeah, Cedric
yeah,
was at the door.
yeah. But
Cattell ended up confiding in Wynn a few things. Should I share them? Because she only talks to Wynn. I have them in
Well, the
out of
audience
character.
knows.
the audience
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
because it was on the
Yeah,
stream.
Yeah, and this is for the audience's benefit.
Yeah, Cattell was talking to Wynn and said something like, when the village she came from saw her form, the villagers broke the neck of one of the foxes and nailed it to her door and said,
That's
"Your
right.
daughter is next." It's pretty dark stuff.
Yeah.
So Cattell sort of
Yeah.
confided in Wynn about being a fox and being able to transform back and forth. Yeah.
And she was worried that the party would harm her. And
Yes.
Wynn said if they do, she would kill everyone except Lorna.
Yeah, she
Yep.
did say that.
Yep.
Thanks, Wynn.
If you
Hey.
were going to go dark and try and kill her, yeah. It's not
I
like
thought,
Wynn could
I
kill
thought we had a
her.
friend-
friendship
be
here,
honest,
Wynn.
to be honest, Wynn's got her priorities right.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
I know. I know Wynn does.
If anyone asks Dodger that, Dodger would be like, "Yep, that's priorities. Yep,
That's true. That's
it's
true.
thing."
But she switched back, and we had a group heart to heart on that, and we were kind of like, your family. We've been together a good amount of time, and we all thought it was actually really cool that she could turn into a fox. So it was.
Yeah.
I was like, all that worry, and we're accepting. We love Cattell. So.
And that was the moment. One of my favorite lines of Dodger's, of talking about this whole situation of what had happened with Cattell a little bit. She was very vague about it, whereas she was very specific with Wynn. And Dodger was like, "Listen, people are stupid, and I would know because I'm people."
Yeah.
Like,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that was awesome.
Like, listen, people are just straight up dumb. I'm sorry, but they are, and so don't trust people, and I would know.
Yep. But so that wrapped up the fort. We finally got to leave after that.
And was it at the fort that we learned that both Lorna and Cattell came from the same town? Because this was sort of all wrapped up. I want to say that was just around then. I can't remember if it was.
It was
at
either
the
in that
fort
fort or it was in
after.
like Terravale.
I think it was in Terravale in the hotel room.
Okay.
Because we had a major heart-to-heart in the hotel
That
room
is right.
in Terravale.
Which is
Okay.
where
So
we're
I
heading
think
right now.
that was
so.
later. But we basically, after we left the fort, had fairly easy travel
Made it to
to
Terravale.
to Terravale, well, just
Finally.
outside of Terravale, while we're waiting for the lift to get down to Terravale.
Oh, that's right. I fixed the lift.
You fixed the lift!
I fixed the lift.
And Wayne got drunk on brandy.
And
And so did Bellamy, but nobody knew.
Spelled me a little bit too.
Well, Bellamy can hold his whiskey. Wynn is about 1/10 of his weight, so...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For
Wynn was
everything that Bellamy
Yes,
has-
gone.
Bellamy can hold his whiskey, but can he hold his brandy? Only if he sits still.
And Dodger stole.
Ran a con.
Yeah. That's it.
Ran a con against a prat
Yep.
of a posh son of a gun, and got a bunch of kids involved
Yep.
to cover his con,
And paid them for their service.
And
It
paid
did
them,
pay him
yeah,
that service.
of course.
Yep.
Yep,
And-
I did.
That's when Lexi took a rock to the head.
I
Yeah.
did take a rock to the head in that whole little ordeal there.
Yep, sorry.
But that's
Real
what
sorry
that's what
about that.
jogged my head to be like, I can fix this. There you go. It's all works
Yep.
together. But the cool thing about
everything happens for a reason.
right. But the cool thing about Terravale is there was only two ways you could get in. You had to do like this really long winding
Switch
path
back down the
you know,
mountain.
down the side of the mountain,
Yep.
or you had the little
Gondola.
Tram.
gondola
Yeah,
like
gondola.
tram little thingy, and it wasn't working, and everything was backed up, and I stepped in, and that has been running so perfectly. It like sings. I did so good. So
It's so good.
it was so good. But so I fixed it, and I got paid good money for that.
Yeah.
But we got into Terravale, and they were all happy that we got them into Terravale, and we reunited with the family at the hotel.
The Grand Hotel.
The Grand.
Grand Hotel.
And they put us up in some really swank suites.
Super posh
Yeah,
rooms.
so they were.
Super
They
posh
set us up
rooms.
really nice, and that's when we had Cedric have his day of shopping happen in Terravale.
And Cedric, in the voice, what did Cedric get for not only Cattell but the rest of the party?
You have to think about it.
Apple preserves. Delicious. Oh. Meat.
I don't know. What was the?
It was raptor meat and a
Oh,
smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
And I think they were throwing you off by saying, say charcuterie, say charcuterie.
That was all I wanted by the end of that stream was I just want Cedric to say charcuterie. That was it. Charcuterie.
But he did his shopping. We resupplied.
We got new clothes.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
got, because we
So did
had.
Cedric.
Yeah, Cedric got a
Well,
nice.
I was saying Cedric got new
Yeah,
clothes.
he got new
Oh no,
clothes.
he got like the nice fancy clothes.
Oh, he got some super.
Yes, he did.
He's swanky.
The only thing that fit.
Yeah. But we resupplied to be ready to catch the train that we finally made it to get us to Double M. And
Mirror.
That's a great,
Mirror,
yeah,
Mirror.
just double M.
Just double
And-
M.
And
So we got the tickets for that, but also that night while
We
we
had
were
the
in these
food.
super posh
the
rooms,
tent.
Cattell ended up making a blanket fort,
Yeah.
which was very new to most of us. Like
Yeah.
I think
Dodgers
all of
never
us.
had it, or Dodgers had like blanket forts, but that's not what they were called. It was a necessity thing and not a just for funsies thing.
Yeah, he called it home.
Yeah.
I called it home.
Home. The only thing that's missing is the smelly dumpster just on the other
Right.
side of the blanket. Like, straight up. And while the rest of us were all getting, like, set up, and Bellamy ended up having a bath, and Cattell does not understand how knocking on doors work.
Oh gosh,
Like,
that's right.
Such
Yeah.
funny moments. Like, seriously, guys. Those episodes in Terravale, go back and rewatch.
Yeah,
because, like,
it's
the
probably
recap
our
does
last
not do
three.
it justice.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. And so, but while everyone was getting set up in the posh rooms, Lexi had gone off to
Oh,
check up on things and then ended up at a bar
Yeah.
with a bunch of guys.
It was great.
with a bunch of working guys.
Well, I had to. It was Sven.
It was
Sven.
Sven.
Sven. Oh, Sven.
And swapping stories, it was a very Kaylee from Firefly during the Shindig episode.
I
it
got.
was so good.
It was great. That was fun. And then that was where I loved it when I was like, I see Cedric, I'm like, don't touch Cedric.
Yeah, because Lexi had been drinking with the guys for a bit, and Dodger and Cedric had gone off to go find her because buddy system have to go looking for Lexi. And
Well, at least we did a
so-
buddy system. You know, usually we all go our
At least
separate
we did a
ways.
buddy
Yeah,
system.
Yeah.
well, they're learning that when people wander off just solo, they end up either poisoned in the Wyldwood, turned into a fox. It just never goes well.
It just doesn't go well.
Don't split the party.
Don't split the party. So, Dodger and Cedric go off to find Lexi, and Lexi, you are such a handful to wrangle, but it was so much fun to roleplay. Just wrangling you back to town and trying to separate you from this group, because they're down to, like, party all night.
Oh yeah.
And you were also down at that
I would've
time.
partied all
We're like,
night,
"No,
probably."
we need to get back. There's a smorgasbord. Cedric got us a smorgasbord. We gotta
Well,
go eat.
But then Lexi also had in her head that she didn't want to have to pay for all this drinking.
And Dodger's like, "You're too drunk to care."
I was like, I don't want to have to pay for all this.
I've stolen a mug from this tavern. We're good. Let's go.
Yeah, it was like the 5
He
swords,
still
I think, where
has
we were
that
at.
mug, by the way.
But yeah, so I came back drunk and we hung out in the tent and we ate and
And
Yep.
had heart to hearts.
I had heart to heart that night. I would say this is probably like the last 3 or 4 episodes that we're we're
Yeah.
almost caught up. So yeah, I was like that
And
was
then what happened? Then what happened with Dodger?
Oh,
Right.
that's right. That's right.
Oh,
So,
I gotta
so
get that picture.
Dodger, being very uncomfortable being this, street urchin kind of kid, because he's only about 17, and so being in these very posh rooms, he ends up spending a good portion of the night, like, just sitting on the windowsill, and Cattell made it a point of, like, if you are gonna go sleep outside, please bring a blanket with you so you're at least warm. And so he grabs a blanket and sneaks down the fire escape and goes and chills in an alley for a bit. And he pulls out his sword and starts talking to his sword of like, all right, I don't know what's going on, but my friends, and during one of those heart-to-hearts, Cattell and Lorna kind of talk to him, you know, like, hey, this sword can't live without you, so take care of him, dang it. And so he's like, listen, we gotta have a chat, because I'm really confused about what's going on, and it's just not very good. And so he just kind of sits there for a bit, and then a voice responds, but it's not just out inside his head from the sword, it's outside. And this girl, this little girl,
Right there. put
comes
her
up and talks to him about the sword and how I don't want you to die, all of these things, and ends up really having a heart-to-heart with him about what's been going on with this sort of like, oh, the person you took me from is looking for me. And I'm like, I thought I killed him. Not really. So that's something to be aware of and worry about. And so it's like, alright, this is great. I'm not nervous at all. And they have this really great heart-to-heart moment, and then she just vanishes, and he kind of sits there for a bit, and then comes back up to the room, and snuggles into the fort.
Yeah, that was
And-
quite an
and-
eventful night too.
Mhm.
Man.
It
So
was a
much
very
stuff.
eventful night. It was a
Yeah.
really eventful night.
Oh my gosh.
And so we all wake up, and Bellamy is very sandy that day.
That's
Extremely
right.
sandy that day.
Yeah, that's like it was just pouring off of you.
It was like the first time that had happened. Too.
Yeah, that was
It
the first time we'd
was,
ever
it
seen
was.
that. Yeah.
And that's why Dodger's like, now, Sandman, Mr. Sandman,
Sandman.
that's your name now. Like, I know your real name, but it's more fun with having fun other names.
Yep. So he was super sandy, and
Yep.
we I guess that we left on the train that day. That's say
Yeah,
we
Yeah, we
tied
did.
up some loose.
We
you
tied up
tied-
couple
had-
loose
picked
ends.
up a couple things, and then
and we
took a train.
took a train.
Took a train. And poor
And-
Bellamy is so motion sick, or at least that is what my assumption is. Sans accent. This is the player's assumption that
Well-
Bellamy has motion sickness.
Yeah. So, what point did you end up holding the amulet or something, and it
Yes.
stopped the sand?
So
It did.
Yeah.
Yes, one of the first. In the first few days, I don't remember when exactly.
Yeah, because there's a few day
It was
train
before
ride.
we were, or no, it was while we were on the train. It was the first day we were on the
Yes,
train.
we were on the train, and we were all, chilling because we had nothing to do because we were on a train, and the topic of the amulet comes up, and Bellamy's like, okay, like, why don't I hold on to that and see what happens, and this outpour of rain of sand that is coming off of him stops as soon as he sort of touches the amulet, and it's this weird, like, he doesn't know why, no one knows why.
And I believe that was the day you couldn't summon Ramil.
Bellamy had voiced some issues with summoning Ramil that day, and said, yeah, he's just acting up. We're just having some issues. We're not seeing eye to eye. And as soon as he touches the amulet, it seems like that goes away. So he doesn't know. He's not sure, and I don't think anyone in the party really knows what's going on. But the amulet had some effect on that.
Well,
Yeah.
and the amulet had changed too, because now on the, let me pull up the amulet, the stones that are on the left, the oval like stones are on the left and right of it, now it's like their eyes are like eyes. The eyes opened up on it.
No, that that only happened when Cattell was in the wild.
Oh, okay, they never-
looked at it.
So now they've closed back up.
No, those aren't there. What it is, if you look at the picture of the amulet where there's those swishes.
Oh, the
right in
symbol.
the center. Now there's only one swish.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I don't remember that part. I remember the stones having like eyes at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's now only has, because there was like many swishes on that. There's only one
Yeah.
now.
There's
Okay.
one.
Huh.
Wait. I thought that there was one missing.
No, there's just one showing.
There's just one showing.
Yeah.
All right.
Huh.
Damn.
See, this recap is not just for the benefit of you all,
I've changed
dear
a
audience.
couple
This is also
things.
for the benefit of us.
I like I should have done something. Yeah, we need a fixed amulet here so I can have both here to show how it's changed. You need to work on that.
Let me Photoshop that up real quick.
Yeah,
You've got a
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
You've
Got
got
a
a
week.
week, good sir.
Yeah. I
Got
have.
the character sheets all built out and whatnot, but now you gotta fix an amulet.
I have written in my notes. Catel's amulet has changed. One of the swirls is gone.
So it was the other way around. Yeah.
So there is one swirl remaining. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, goodness. So now that's changed.
That didn't change.
No, that's how it is.
No,
I
I'm just
wrote
saying,
that
like,
down.
just the amulet, that's
Yeah.
changed. So the dagger has switched to...
And the dagger has also changed.
Had changed.
It has.
And the amulet's now changed. So that's another thing going on. And then, what goes on this train? And
Well-
we're all, like, almost there! Oh my
We had a
gosh!
good dinner.
We had a great
so
dinner.
We had a good dinner. Lexi and Dodger were writing letters. Lexi also had some epiphanies of some like really cool items to make.
Jet boots!
Jet boots,
Yeah.
jet boots, and magnet boots. I think were the
Yeah,
two.
I'm like-
no, it was just jet boots.
Both would work for me. I'll take both.
I mean, fair.
Yeah.
I don't mean to out of game give you ideas
Oh.
in your head.
At
But I know jet boots. There were like 2 or 3 things.
Oh my God,
that
ask Icon.
Lexi was like having epiphanies about, and just.
I think I
writing
drive
all these
Icon
things.
nuts with, I'm like, can I make this? Can I have this? Can I make,
Can I make this?
Can I
Can
do
I
this?
make
Go,
that?
go
Magnet
Gadget Arms.
Yeah, I could still be like Inspector Gadget.
Straight up. And so we end up having this nice dinner. Poor Bellamy is stuck in the rack.
Yeah, he's not
of
happy.
Just not in a good place.
He's a little sick. Yeah.
He's a little sick, and so we end up going and having this nice dinner. But we have this conversation at this dinner. I don't exactly remember what was entirely in the conversation, but I know there were some tensions that happened, and so we all kind of split off for a bit.
Yeah.
Cattell ends up on the roof of the
On
train
the roof of
for
the
a period
train.
of time.
Yeah.
And then eventually just is like sitting next to the railing on the edges of one of the cars while we're going through a tunnel at some point.
Yeah.
I do
and
want to
while-
share at this moment.
Yes.
I think there was a point where Cedric took Cattell aside, and I think this was before she went onto the roof.
Maybe.
Cedric mentioned to Cattell that he thought that she might be a yokai.
That's right. I remember
There
the
was
yokai
some
thing. Yeah.
association with foxes. My suspicion is due to what I saw in the Fey realm. My suspicion is that you might be a yokai. And he was sort of
Cedric is
saying,
always the bearer of good news.
well, so Cedric was saying like there's nothing wrong with being a yokai. There's nothing inherently evil about yokai, but you know, my suspicion.
I
is that
heard
you
they're
might be one.
tasty.
Yes. But this was a conversation that was had between Cedric and Cattell
Yeah.
with no one else listening.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I was like, yep. So,
Crazy.
and also, I had gone to see if I could go see the engine, and that's when we found out that we couldn't go past a certain point. I mentioned it to the group. They didn't like that I wanted to go investigate it. Yet later on, Miss Lorna, she goes and does it and doesn't get any slack over it. But
I was busy pilfering a purse from a very posh gentleman.
yeah.
And oh, buddy, did I walk away with a little bit too much money? Like Dodger broke a
Oh,
rule.
that's right. That was you got a lot.
Oh yeah.
Um,
So that was on the way back from the dining car
yeah.
of Dodger is like, you know what, I'm gonna try and like do the honest thing and go shine some shoes for some coin. Oh, but this guy's a right frat. Well, you know, he made me angry. He ticked me off.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut his purse, and I cut his purse. And what I should have done was just stole a little bit because I walked away with way too much money.
A lot,
and so he
yeah.
went, I'm staying in the room with Belmy, making sure he's got plenty of water, food, whatever he needs.
You're like, I'm not gonna
stay
leave.
here. I'm not gonna leave.
But
I'll do the bags
we
and hide the money.
hide the
in
money.
multiple
Yeah, didn't you put it in
pouches.
multiple places?
Multiple places, yeah.
But we figured out that the first cart behind the engine was locked up completely and guarded, and the second cart was the cart that I was walking to see if I can get up there, and all the doors were locked in that cart. That Lauren had figured out that the doors were locked, and
the doors were locked and they were empty. Or at least, as far as we knew at that time,
that we were
empty.
told that they were empty.
Or
but
at least as what she could see, they were empty.
as what she could see, they were
at
empty.
the time.
But we ended back in our rooms. This has been we've been on the train for a few days at this point.
Yeah, we're coming up to day 3.
Yeah. And we were in our rooms, and then all of a sudden it was sudden stop, and we're thrown, and the train's under attack, and the train is on like high up in this big huge cavern.
It's Qadan, guys.
Yeah.
It's Qadan.
And-
We are on the bridge. We are on a train on the bridge of Qadan.
Yes, and yeah, so we're what was it, like 10 floors up, from the bottom of the cave.
Oh, if I remember, it was 120, 130
Yeah,
feet.
it was
It was
super
something
high.
ridiculous.
And so, all of us, we're gonna go help, because that's what we do.
That's what we do. We're
And,
adventurers.
we run towards the danger. And there were creatures that, I guess they shot some, acid,
No, the rust eaters.
They-
So
Rust.
whatever they
They eat
eat
it.
They
turns to
eat it,
rust, and
that's
they
what
eat
it was. And, so metal was, disintegrating. The track has been, destroyed, and the train's just sitting there, so the train can't go any further.
Full stop.
And so we're fighting these creatures, and we're doing well against these creatures. And
Well, we're doing well against the creatures. It's just the ability checks to jump from car to car.
oh, that's right, you could.
Yeah, it was more difficult to get to the creatures
Which was
than it was.
How
to
many-
deal with
DC
them.
10.
Yeah.
Which was a DC
Yeah.
10.
I think Dodger failed 3 rolls.
He was-
or something.
He was burning through his edge crazy.
I had extra edge due to a roleplay moment. I had extra edge over everyone else, and I burned through 4 of them in
Yeah.
a single game, y'all.
well,
It was ridiculous.
I think Cedric had the same issue where he had a couple where he
I only had a couple.
yes, I know
No,
you had a lot.
Me
maybe
too.
fighting.
I think no, his was
Well,
fighting.
Yeah, even Belmy almost got his leg chopped
Yeah,
off
he
or
almost got
something.
it was we had a
Yeah,
couple
Oh.
Close.
things in that
It
fight.
was rough.
So
And the guards are useless.
And the guards
They're
were
stormtroopers,
useless.
y'all.
They had, you don't know how many were there originally. When you got there was what, 4 left?
all I know is what we saw.
Hey now, your excuse at the time was you're rolling low, and we're like, what?
Well, that's
We have been rolling low this whole
Yeah.
time. Don't complain. I don't
was
wanna hear it.
low.
They're
Poor guys.
stormtroopers. They can't aim for anything.
Yeah. So then what else starts attacking? Well, these little
Gobbies.
gobbies. They start attacking the train, and we're holding our own against the gobbies, but there's so many of them.
Well, I think it's how
And-
they attack because they dropped from the cavern.
Oh, they were
It's
on.
from the
Yeah, they
cavern,
were coming
and then
from
like harpooned
harpooned
up,
up,
as well.
and they were coming from all
And-
directions, and
all kinds of craziness, and they weren't very strong. Like they
No.
were really easy to take down.
They had
But the thing
dynamite.
is there was
No,
a
but they had
lot of them,
dynamite,
so it was
yeah.
like horde tactics, and they had dynamite,
And they had
which I
dynamite.
now have because I have
Right.
pilfered.
but
I've pilfered from the bodies, so,
So-
I have plans.
yeah. So we're fighting these gobbies, and we think we're doing right. and we were kind of wrong.
We're
Well,
gone.
I mean,
Yeah.
were we wrong? I
well-
saw the goblins were attacking the train, and we're
Well,
on the train,
right,
so we want
but-
to defend the train, but then we go
Into the train, and we find out that these gobbies have been, like, experimented on, that they're holding on this train and have them in these rooms locked up and, like, messing with their heads.
With
and
muzzles.
and the
Yeah,
muzzles
they
that
got
are...
these weird, like, clockwork rebreathers on,
So
are
that they
keeping
stay
them,
sleep,
like,
you know,
stasis.
sedated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It got a lot of arcane vibes.
yeah,
y'all.
it was
Like,
it was
ooh.
not
Yes, very
not
much
good.
Yes.
And so we're finding this out. We're having some words with the guards, but the guards that we're having words with didn't even know about these gobbies being on board because they were protecting money in the front cart, so they had no clue
No.
this was going on. And so we're like figuring that out.
And so we're having this very tense miscommunication moment with these guards. Which one of these guards has my gun, by the way. Like,
Oh.
But you gave the guard the gun.
That's
I gave
true.
the guard the gun because he was out, and I was like, defend the freaking train, dude! Like,
Yeah.
help! Be useful!
So we have the words,
Ugh.
and we're talking to the. We kind of like did a little bit of interrogating with the one gobby that we can actually talk to, and he wasn't giving us much because he thinks we're the bad guys, and
Right.
and he had kind of the right to think that at first, but then we're kind
Yeah.
of like we're feeling bad because we see this is not good what's going on. And he tells us about the blue coats. The blue coats did this, and
They are blue, okay.
yeah, the blue coats.
I was worried I was
And-
confusing campaigns, because we've got, in a different campaign, I've got blue-robed people to worry
Oh.
about, and so I was very like, are they
No.
blue? Am
Yep, they're
I
blue
confusing
coats.
campaigns?
Yeah.
Oh
So-
no.
So we got this thing with the blue coats, and I'm
Do they come 2x2 with hands of blue?
yeah. So where we ended our last episode, yeah, we made it, guys. Is Lexi's in the process of taking off the face of one of the sedated gobbies to get it off, and a blue coat, and so I think me and Dodger, I think you in the room with me with that, like we were kind of like on a side room.
I think I was like in the doorway.
Yeah, so like we're kind of there, and a blue coat comes through the door,
Out
like
the other door on
out
the
the other door, the other side, and
Yeah.
says like, well, isn't that interesting or something, whatever.
It's something very
Well, well,
ominous.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something. He's like,
Yeah.
ha ha, whatever it was. I can't remember
And
exactly
that's
what
where
it
we
he said,
ended,
"Oh."
y'all.
Happy 2022.
And that's where we ended, and
And-
we determined at the end of that game of the people that need to talk to this guy, because everyone is antisocial in this group, is Dumbbrains Dodger and Lexi.
Lexi. We have
The
the best social
kids.
skills. Yeah, the kids, the
The kids,
16-year-old,
because we're
and
teenagers versus the adults.
It turns out Belmy's the oldest one here.
Yeah.
Not by a lot, but he's the oldest one. He's like 35, something like that.
Oldest
Yeah.
one?
Oh, sorry. Cedric is probably the oldest, but he has no idea.
But
how
we
old
don't,
We
he
don't
is.
know
That's
that.
not
He
been
doesn't-
confirmed
yeah,
in
he doesn't
canon
even- yeah,
as of
alright.
yet.
Yeah, he's like a 60-year-old.
He's
geezer or
15. He has a
something,
skin
yeah.
condition.
aw, so you're younger
He
than
just has a skin
Lexi.
condition.
But yeah, because
My
I
math teacher failed me in calculus.
but yeah, so we had the cliffhanger there. That's where we're at. Is this blue coat saying his like, ha 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 ha, I am here and
Yeah.
blah blah
Well,
blah,
well,
whatever.
what have we here?
Yeah, it's like I think he said like well, isn't that interesting or
He
so,
has
whatever.
some kind of villain one-liner.
Yeah,
you know?
and then it was like that, and it was like cut scene. I'm like, oh you, oh, but yeah, so it was.
He was like, my coat is blue.
Yeah.
So that's where we left off.
That is where we are, where we're at. So we're ready to get past that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning into our 1 hour.
I know. I was like, oh, this will be like an hour recap. It's going to be so quick.
Lies into deceit. There's been so much that's happened.
I don't realize
However-
that. Gosh.
Yeah, capturing
However-
like almost a year's worth of.
I was able to revise my notes. I had a couple things to change.
I'm
so-
actually
It was-
really
it was
glad I
great. It
did
was great.
this.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, because
Now-
You know the funny thing is,
Fresh.
I'm like listening, and I'm like going, and I'm like, oh yeah, and you're like, oh that was such a big reveal. Oh, that was big. And I'm like, going, man, I ain't even got to my twists yet. This is just the basic stuff.
And
This is like level 1, level 2 stuff that we're still dealing with.
Oh, hush.
so something I want to ask you guys before we get into what are some mechanics updates later later in the stream. But what are some of your we covered some of them, but what are some of your favorite moments of the campaign so far?
Ooh, that's tough.
I'll start just because I'm not a player, and it was. So while I'm always surprised, when we got like the double 20s and all that stuff that's whipped out, but when John called out his 1 out of 100, and he's like,
I'll just
on that
roll a
roll,
1.
it's like I'm gonna roll a 1, and he rolls 2d10 and pulls out that 1. That was like,
There's a 1d100, I think. He rolled a
Yeah, it
one.
was a 1d100, which is dang near impossible. If any of you have played 5e and have rolled a divine intervention, which you have to roll lower than your level on a d100, that's dang near impossible.
He rolled a
He
1.
called it.
And John
I'm gonna roll
calls
a
one.
it.
And then I
Rolls
dabbed.
a
And he
one.
dabbed.
Then I
Then he
dabbed.
dabbed and ruined it.
And an ancient prophecy was fulfilled. A portion of my soul was ripped from my corpus to be drawn into
No,
another
a
flame.
portion of your soul was restored by a ginger, which never happens.
I see. It was
Oh
returned
my
to me.
gosh.
I was like, it's. I've seen those out there where somebody's like, I would say like a lot of Lorna stuff. Where I was like, just roll a 20 and be over it, and then she rolls a 20.
Yeah, I was like, I love that.
But
But
he
when-
called it, not
but when he
you, but
called
he
it.
called it.
Yeah.
Called it, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Well, that
a
was
1/100 chance of calling that.
well, and that was like my thing with the jet boots, where I was just kind of like going, I go, wouldn't it be funny if this? Let me roll and see, and then I got my 20,
Yeah,
my
your
exploding
20s.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was just, it's just, I love it when it works. It's like the stars align, and it's like, oh, and it just.
Yeah, I'd still just go back and like to watch the facial reactions when that occurred. Cause just like the
So
like,
good.
this is- what just happened? I
What?
think that's what I was yelling. What did you do?
Yeah, there was a lot of yelling in that
Sorry, yeah,
in
that,
that
was,
moment.
that one was mine just because it was like you just don't see those things, and I've seen it.
I know that mine was, which was in the last episode, was Bellmy and Chill.
Bellmy and
Was
Chill.
the official Bellmy and Chill moment, which was so with these guards that we're having this really intense moment with these guards inside this cart where all the gobbies are, and so there's this like standoff that's happening, and so like Kittel teleports behind them and has got like one of her blades to their throat, and we've got one of them left because Lexi pulls off some amazing exploding 20
That's right.
stuff with the shooting off of the lightning.
Yeah.
And so we've got one left, and Bellmy just kind of runs up, taps him with the hourglass of suspending them in time. It's like we're just gonna chill here for a minute, and it's Bellmy and Chill.
Yeah.
It was great.
It is
His
so
arm around
Bellmy.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put his arm around him like, sup,
Hey, why
bro?
don't we just
And
hang
just
out for a second.
We're gonna chill for a second. It
Well-
was great.
Well, and then so you have him hanging on, and then when he was coming through, wasn't someone like right in his face when he
Dodger
came?
was.
Yeah, that's what you're like, kind of
Yeah,
like.
I had run up while he suspended it. It was just like right nose to nose, just like
Yeah.
waiting for him to come out of
Yeah.
suspension,
Yeah, that
just
was.
to intimidate the heck out of him.
Oh my
Like
god.
everything, that moment, the stars just really aligned for us to do some really awesome intimidating of like, we are so much better than you. Y'all are stormtroopers, man. You can't hit anything for anything. Like, nah.
Oh,
We got this.
we got
We have
this.
saved the train. calm down. We're gonna take you down a peg.
Like I remember like the first night that we played the game, and I've played with Slop and John in other campaigns, and it's always like, okay, what's he bringing to the table this time? And then he started talking as Cedric, and it was like, oh my god, this is what that was awesome, because I was totally not what I expected at all when he came forth with the voice. So I like the moments where you're like, oh my god, okay, this is what's gonna happen. This is how it's going down. And like you with your I love the nicknames, and and when you mess up the words, I'm like, it's little things like that. I'm like that. I love those moments where it's just like that's perfect for it's yeah.
It's the role play moment.
Yeah, I like it. Role play is just fun, and it's just yeah, it's. And now, mind you, like I love it, like with the exploding 20s. I'm like those totally stick out when just like, or like my favorite moment is when I was in that alley and I was like, I was totally Cattell. You know, it was like I was just dodging and getting out of things, and it was like it was great. And I lasted so long by myself, and I'm like, okay, Lexi's pretty, That was the first time I could like really see Lexi. I'm like, okay, she can kind of hold her own. You know, okay, she's not that bad. So little things like that. It's just, it's fun.
All right, Cedric, Bellmead, what are your favorite moments?
I think the most vivid moment for me was when and I already described this slightly, was when Lorna had the ethereal wings go up. But actually, I think one of my favorite moments was actually a non-PC moment where Wynn talked about how she took care of Flicks.
Yeah.
There's
That
a
was a
point
good
where
moment.
like Wynn was talking about how she took care of Flicks, and that the Ashen Lady wasn't going to bother us for some time.
That's right. That was
Yeah.
after the adventure with Cattell in the Wyldwood.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like I sort of knew that Wynn was like this sort of magical creature, and she was able to do all these like fancy things, but like I don't know, it was so almost intimidating. This little
I know Wynn's a
beast
little.
was able to do, yeah.
Yeah,
So
some
that
of the stuff that Wynn pulls off, I'm kind of like going, I want one. I want to win.
Well, every
We all want
party
to win.
needs
Yeah.
every party needs a animal or beast or fey companion with their group.
Yeah.
Like
Like your
I'm just
mascot.
saying it now. Everyone, not necessarily a mascot.
I'm
They're a
putting.
companion.
I don't think I put
Or
Wynn up this whole
if you're
time. There's Wynn.
if you're doing 5e rules, they're the sidekick rules.
Yeah.
Every party needs a sidekick that is with them.
And I put Wynn up. Isn't Wynn adorable? That is
so
just,
cute.
Oh my god.
Oh,
So cute.
Art of Sandara. Go and check out her stuff. She is so nice to let us
Yes.
use this this picture, and she has got some serious talent. So yeah, go
Mhm.
check out her. She's on Instagram, Facebook. She's all over the place, and I think she's got stuff on DeviantArt. Yeah, look at her stuff. She's like phenomenal. So thank you. Thank you for her cute little win. But okay, yeah, Cedric. He's
Cedric,
yeah,
what's
what's
your
Cedric's
favorite
moment?
moment of the campaign?
Well, I think both me and Cedric really enjoy the quiet moments. So the periods either after the big fights or after the confrontations. I'm thinking of times like between Lorna and Cattell when they're like by themselves and quietly bonding, or after the fight for Wynn when everyone was exhausted at the camp and they were just either saying very little to each other or just like vibing. I mean, so part of his thing is he doesn't sleep, and so he just walks around and looks at people while they're sleeping, and so
That's not creepy at all.
well,
Not at all.
it's really nice and pleasant.
Yeah.
Actually, you still need to look at my thing on my back really good again.
He definitely does.
Yeah, we haven't.
But
It's on the list.
Yeah,
We've
there's
got
so
a
much
long
stuff we
list,
gotta do.
but it's on the list.
definitely the quiet moments, the revealing of inner turmoil between people,
Yeah.
Like the quiet bonding moment that Cedric and Cattell had after her sort of traumatic Feywild transformation.
I did. I
experience.
really enjoyed watching that play
It
out.
was a beautiful moment.
Yeah. That's those are my favorite moments, and Cedric's too.
Awesome. Well,
Oh, yeah.
real quick, another thing that we should shout out is the artwork that was done not only for our character art that icon you set up, but our good friend Shauna from Mythic Geekdom
I put him up.
did.
I was gonna say, did you have to?
Perfect.
Yeah,
I
put
had
those
it
up.
ready because I was gonna
Perfect.
do
You knew
something
where I
about
was
it. I
going.
knew we were gonna put something out there for him.
Yep, so that art was done by Shauna from Mythic Geekdom, did all of the artwork for our characters, and I think it turned out phenomenally, really captured some of our characters. When we submitted to have that artwork done, we filled out this whole questionnaire,
Mhm.
so Shauna's got all of the secrets of all
She
of our different
actually
characters.
does have quite a bit, so.
Quite a bit of our secrets. And it's wonderful and beautifully done. It really captures some of the characters, like the intensity in Cedric's eyes, the youthful playfulness of Lexi.
Yeah, she got
and
me
just-
good. Yeah.
Belmy was done beautifully. Wynn on Lorna's shoulders,
the little
like
things
it's so good. So check out Mythic Geekdom and check out Lovely's Cosplay, who on Instagram doing all this wonderful art. Go check them out. Fantastic stuff. Beautiful artwork done for us. So thank you very much, Mythic
Yes.
Geekdom and Shauna. Beautifully done.
Awesome stuff. And it's just, as I'm looking at it now too, because I remember when I first saw it, and I was wanting to ask Lore, because if you look at Cattell with her back turned and her head turned to the
Yes.
side, and I'm like, was that by design? Was that by intent? Or is that just what she pulled out of the information that she was given and kind of had that outcome? Because it was just so Cattell with the back turned and her head kind of turned towards the viewer. I was like, just perfect.
Well,
Like,
I look at Belmy and it's totally
insight
Belmy and
checks.
Chill.
It's totally Belmy and
It's
Chill.
totally Belmy and
It's
Chill.
totally Belmy and Chill.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, because Shauna from Mythic Geekdom is a very close friend of mine, and their insight score is like expertise on their insight checks.
Yeah.
Like nuts. And they just did such a phenomenal job. I cannot gush enough about their artwork. It's just amazing. Absolutely phenomenal.
I do. I love my little cocked brow. Like, I'm Lexi. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I love them all. Yeah. That's why
love
I wanted
them
to make
all.
sure that we put something out there for that. So yeah, I was like, oh,
Yes,
that is something.
absolutely. Absolutely.
But wow, that was my 1 hour ended up being really, really long.
Yep, and we're still not done
Oh
because
my
we
God.
have mechanics updates, do we not?
Oh Lord,
There.
yeah.
Good Lord DM.
I don't think I'll be like too long, but
No.
yeah.
So if anybody had been watching and tried to keep up with the homebrew thing that we had whipped up, it was built on a Pathfinder chassis at the time, but I was borrowing rule sets from different systems and such that I liked. I'm like, I really like this part, I really like that part, plus some things that I had put together from way back when. But over our break, I've taken the Pathfinder chassis apart and put in a 5e chassis on this thing. It's still a homebrew, heavily homebrewed, but
Oh, yeah.
it's got a lot more ties into a 5e concept. And I think it'll be more like if you play 5e, you'll see those things a lot easier out there. I think it creates a little bit of some simplicity and such out there. Just Pathfinder gets really crunchy, and as you get up in the levels, it gets very, very crunchy.
Yes.
And I where I was seeing in my head was that it was going to start taking away from like what John was talking about, those moments, because we would have been way tethered to crunch and just getting into that space. And so this steers us a little bit back more where the spirit of what I was trying to capture when I did the homebrew rules setup. But they are still there. So if they're like, oh, it's going to be pure 5e, it ain't going to be pure 5e.
And to be honest, where your original idea was versus where it is now, it opens up more of that trust with these players that you have, because a lot of us were outliers, or at least as far as my understanding were, where you haven't worked with us before player-wise, and so you didn't really quite know where our style
East Coast
was.
Connor's the only person I even knew going into this.
You didn't know Slappin' John before?
No.
No?
Yeah. Me and Icon go way back.
Way back.
Way back.
Okay. New information for
What?
me.
No,
Well, you actually
he's
told me about the characters that
lying.
you've played in Icon's games. Why don't you tell me the characters that you played in Icon's games?
Yeah. Yeah, I played a barbarian who was actually, he was like a magical researcher, and he had this like vial in his neck that he would like use to rage. It was like this medicine that made him crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
That
I
happened.
think he ended up
That
getting
is
killed because
real.
somebody called shot in it, it shattered and and then he got really sad.
You guys are
Exposed
so
weak point. Exposed weak
Yep.
point.
full
Most
of
weak point.
it. Yeah, I like how Amanda's like roll insight. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my dice? Let me roll
Yes,
some
exactly.
insight.
But
it was a lot of new faces in this.
Yeah, a lot of new faces. So
Yeah.
you didn't know where our play styles were, and you didn't know if we were role players or role players. And so you weren't too sure about that at the beginning, and so you went with a system, the bare bones of the system that you knew, that you homebrewed from. And so now you know what our play styles are, and have accommodated the system to streamline things like combat and whatnot, so that we could have those quiet moments that John was talking about. And so I'm very excited to see how that's going to turn out for the campaign, and there might be changes along the way later on, but I'm very excited to see what happens with this new system.
TPK. First session back.
That's not even funny. Yeah. No.
No.
It is. It's
As much as I laughed, that laugh was of pain and fear.
You're freaking me out, man.
We're all
I
worried
don't
about
have to
our
try. I
next,
don't have to
our
try
next
to
session.
TPK you. You all do good enough on your own. Yourselves in situations
We're
like,
not that bad.
I call that of that is Foundry of trying to TPK us with the automated dice.
Yes.
I am the
I
old
totally
school
agree.
person that I prefer rolling real dice.
Yeah. I miss that.
Because my real dice, even though they do roll low, like I have the dice luck of Will Wheaton, however, it's not as bad as Foundry makes it out. Because it's either real low or
I could
real
always
well,
pull
and no in between.
Yeah.
my dice out. I don't think you guys would live through the night, but
I would have to agree with that. His dice are killer. So, yeah, it's...
I mean, I've been in campaigns where the DM's dice is killer.
Yeah.
However, on times in which guards are helping us out, that would have been beneficial.
yeah, that would have been beneficial. I don't know why it got on a string of just crappy rolls.
I mean, you were getting the rolls that the players normally get, so there you are.
Yeah, but then out of nowhere, you like go on a string of 20s or something. I'm like, where'd that
And
come
then they
Or
explode
calling
like crazy.
shots.
Yeah, it is. It's totally... I like
It's-
those
it's
times.
wild, guys.
But then it's like, ooh, I just had exploding 20s, and I followed up with a 1. So,
Yep. And we've all had those
yeah,
moments.
we have.
Me and
Walk the
Bellamy
circle.
and Lexi have had those moments. I don't.
I will...
And while I've been playing, I don't know if Cedric has, and I think Cattell has, and same for Lorna has had those moments, but I don't know if Cedric has.
I just know that Cedric has the worst luck where he rolls edge, and he re-rolls the same number. I don't know how
Oh,
many
Lord.
times that happened. Like, remember that one night where it's like, it happened like 3 times, and you're just like,
It's fine.
We try to forget that.
I don't know.
It was in the-
Because
it
We
was on
repress
that.
those memories.
it wasn't fine that night. That night
It
you
was the
actually,
same
like,
the win fight.
got up and you walked away
Yeah,
from the
got up and
computer
walked
for,
off.
like, you were mad.
And then I remember because you sit there and the players were like, you know, we need Cedric over here. And you're like, there's a freaking army between me and Win. What do you want me to do?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
remember that.
Well, oh my gosh, our a quick recap ended up being a whole evening. So,
Yeah.
It
Hey,
did.
that was great. A lot
Thanks
has
for sticking with
happened.
us.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
Indeed.
goodness. But
Now, what's been going on in the Lakeside Legendz universe, and also what's been going on with Geek Grind Coffee?
so Lakeside Legendz, all of our Ætherealms videos are out on the website lakesidelegends.com, and I believe they're all out on YouTube now.
And
I believe
VHS.
so.
I'm like
Yes.
I'm almost.
No, they're all in. They're Betamax. Everyone. We
I-
made our choice, so we're gonna
but-
stand by it.
I do
There's-
know that
there's
they're
theaters
definitely
where
on a
they're hacking them
website.
out all over the country.
on 8 tracks. We've put them on podcast form on 8 tracks.
But I do, like I said, I do know that they're definitely out on the lakesidelegends.com. Go out there and find out about Lakeside Legends. You know, hit the website.
Indeed.
You can see previous shows that they had, like with the Misfits, where they did the Curse of Strahd. They got everything's out there. If not there, go to YouTube and check out all the streams that have been done. Lakeside Legends is on Discord. Join our awesome nerdy community, and we are a community of storytellers, and we like to share nerdy stuff. We're really big on our geeky memes that we like to put out
a
there.
lot of Lord of the Rings memes.
Yeah, we're big Lord of the
there's a
Rings
lot of
people.
Lord of the Rings
Find a home there.
But yeah, like
If you're not, stay the hell out.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you there.
No. Come join.
Oh,
We're not
no.
just the Lord of the Rings memes.
Yeah,
We've
but-
also got some other stuff. in
I know, but
Lakeside
we're like
Legends.
a lot of us are just really big Lord of the Rings geeks, so we
It's
just love
fair.
that stuff.
I mean, how many times did we reference Khazad-dûm in this stream
well,
alone?
yes, exactly, and like Aragorn. Yeah,
At
we're
least twice.
yeah.
At least.
At
But
least.
and, like we even had like the music and everything that we were singing. but yeah, so Discord community, it's a lot of fun. You can come out there, ask questions, because we have people that DM, got great players that can give feedback. If you're wanting to write stuff, put it out there, ideas. I mean, like, it's a great group. And then yeah, so Discord, like, join us on that. And then Geek Grind Coffee, like, I didn't even put the logo on, because I threw these overlays together really quick, since this was like a quick recap type thing. But if you use the promo code ICONIC, you get 20% off of your Geek Grind Coffee, and it helps the stream. It helps Lakeside Legends. It's keeps us getting like cool little things, and helping the website, and all that fun stuff. So
all that fun stuff. And
Yeah.
Geek Grind Coffee is such a wonderful product. It's great coffee. And if you're not a coffee person, they also have teas.
Yep.
And it's all nerdy themed.
shirts and
Like,
yeah.
you've got, there's a whole D&D line of coffee. There's
Yeah.
Labyrinth
Labyrinth.
line of
Yep.
coffee. It's wonderful stuff. Go
Yeah.
check them out. And it's
They're
family owned.
It's family owned. Women
it's so
farmers in Colombia. It's all women owned, like 600 women owned farms that they do. So it's a good company, and they now
I
are
gotta
doing
say, it's like,
pods
I'm a coffee person. I like coffee. I have a very particular taste out there, and that Wizard's Mist is, oh my god, it's like when we brew up a cup of it. It's like, so good.
Wizard's Mist.
And they also have
So good.
K-pods.
We just got the
they
pods.
Have curry pods.
Yeah, we just got our pods in
for
for
their
Wizard's Mist.
Dragon's Roast, which is their dark roast, and it's really, really good stuff. And like, I personally need to put an order in because I have a real coffee pot here in my hotel room, and so I don't have to do the K-pods, which is only one flavor currently. That's
No,
probably gonna change here pretty soon.
They
Huh?
got them out. They now have it on
They've got 'em out
on
now?
like 10 different flavors now, because we just got our Wizard Mist one.
Oh,
Yeah. So go
I'm
check
so
out if you're like
excited.
your pod person. They have now, widened their variety of pods, and they're slowly converting to trying to get all their flavors with the pods. So
Fantastic.
geekgrindcoffee.com, promo code ICONIC, 20% off.
And they've got really cool shirts and mugs and stuff like that on
Yeah.
top of the coffees and teas. So go check them out. They're
Yep.
wonderful, wonderful stuff.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. We'll be playing after our cliffhanger next week. I'm ready.
What did the blue coat find so interesting? Let's find out.
We'll have
Next
to
week.
find out next week
on
on
Ætherealms
Ætherealms.
over on Lakeside Legends.
Aether
So,
Elms.
Ætherealms.
So do I get to do the thing that you usually get to say
Do
at
the
the
sign-off.
end? Do I get to
Yeah,
do the
you
sign
do
off?
You are
So,
at it.
do it.
okay, yay me! Okay, so everyone, it's been a wonderful evening. We hope you enjoyed the recap. Like I said, a lot has been going on in the show, so come join us next week, Monday, 7:30 Central, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, and a partridge in a pear tree of whatever time zone that you're in. Come watch us, and we hope to see you next time down by the lakeside. You guys have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.